All right, so you went live. Cut my volume down.
Oh,
What?
right.
Damn, 4 people already. Shit. Since we ain't got no sound, I think we should go ahead and do the 30. Good.
Hey,
Good
everybody.
evening. Good evening.
Welcome to the Jonathan and Jahan show. We're so glad you guys could join us this evening. We apologize for starting a little bit late. We were still trying to get our guest time to get logged in and all that fun stuff. And we still have people logging in. So again, we're live. So if you catch anything that's a little bit off, just bear with us. We're gonna get through it, all right?
I see you, Shawana. Come on in.
All right. So as you know, this is Small Business Appreciation. The theme for this episode is small but mighty businesses. And we want to take this opportunity to highlight small businesses that we support, that, people we know who are trying to do their thing in the business world, and give them an opportunity to kind of share with us their stories, their journey, what resources they need or use that they want to share with other people to help encourage them get through and open their own small businesses if they choose to. Now, with this though, if you have your own small business or something you want to highlight, send us a comment or inbox the group if we can catch you. We want to bring you on this evening as well, and you can share what your services and products are and highlight to the people, so you can help build up your customer base. Again, Small Business Week is May 2nd through the 8th. We're getting a head start, and so to help advertise whatever service or product you're selling. So
make sure you say it with your chest.
Yeah, okay. And so that's our introduction. Disclaimers. This is the Jonathan and Jahan show. We do not represent or speak for any other organization we're a part of, our employers. These are our opinions and our thoughts only. So it's not our intention by any means to represent any organization or our employers at any time.
I appreciate that, Walter. Walter said I got nothing but Tennessee State energy going on tonight. Look, everybody hey, Tennessee State got the chest out, don't we?
I guess.
Got all kind of stuff going on in our favor. It's been a long time coming. All right, what we got here first lady?
It's the Say With Your Chest segment or your No You Didn't segment. You kind of go over your news.
Oh man, no, they didn't. Let me tell y'all what happened about a week ago here in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I don't know what's going on down here in Georgia. They going crazy. They say it might be in the peach tea. Now check this out. It was a couple who came from out of town. I want to say Virginia. I can't remember exactly where. Now, a couple, meaning a man and a woman, here together. They downtown by the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, renting the little scooter bikes. They on scooter bikes, enjoying the company. We're on a date. A guy rolls up in a car and tries to holler at the girl while she with her man. Come on now. Stop it, dog. Stop it. So, of course, obviously, she says, no, thank you, sir. And she's trying to drive on her way. Dude pulls out a gun and shoots 5 times and then shot the shin and then to the lady's fibula. Are we coming to this in this world? Is it getting to that point?
Yeah. And it's we're going to kind of touch on this with our straighten it out segment too, but that's kind of things I think men tend to not realize, because if you're not a jerk, it's kind of hard to believe that there are jerks out there in the world. And women, if you'll, educate our men. Remember when guys would ask for your phone numbers and you'd be like, no, I got a boyfriend, or I'm not interested. It would go left real quick to whatever, bitch, you ain't all that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, man,
and so it's gotten to the point now that, this generation of people are more entitled, patience is a lot thinner. And, this is probably not the first time it's happened. It's just making news, this particular story. But men can be really, really aggressive when women reject them. And ask yourself, is it really worth me going to jail and losing my freedom because this girl didn't want to give me her phone number?
And she with her boyfriend. What is you thinking? Who are you?
Right. And so, that's unfortunately the world we live in, and things that women deal with way too often. Yeah. Kenya, men will cuss you out for not accepting the conversation. And that is so true. And I think men who have female friends, or who, have kind of observed or witnessed their guy friends treat women a certain type of way when they rejected them, that should be a lesson. Hey, let me do a better job protecting the females in my life. I mean, they don't have to be just your sisters, just your girlfriend, just like your female friends or people when you see a woman uncomfortable, kind of do what you can to make her feel safe, or at least check your guy. You don't have to do it in front of people or embarrass them, but at least check your guy.
So we at the point now, a woman can't even say no.
Yeah. And they have the right to. That's the unfortunate part. Women have the right to say no.
So this story here, this is very heartbreaking, and I don't like it, so I mean, women, please be safe out here. Please be safe out here.
And and I think it's another point too. People, I saw a meme once, telling women, be safe, watch what you wear, watch what you do, boom, boom, boom. No, train your men, train your boys, raise your boys to make better decisions.
You're right.
And know how to accept. No, let's stop putting responsibility on the female. I don't think that's fair. We put too much responsibility on the female to control what she does.
You're right.
And watch what she wears. But she's not the one out here shooting dudes.
You're right.
Dudes are the ones out here losing their minds because a woman tell them no. Do better raising your men.
Appreciate you coming on in, Khalid.
That's your only story?
Oh, we can drop another one?
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, okay. What's the other one? John, I know you know because I've been talking about it all weekend. What's the other one off the top of my head?
You had that one. We had the one about the lady and her kids getting off the ride at the park.
Oh yeah, down there in Florida. I know y'all video. All of y'all saw video. Now, this is outside looking in, obviously, because that's all we got to go by. Now, it looked like the guy was operating the ride, and it was one of the kiddie rides that kind of go real slow. It just goes slow, and you kind of on the, each little seat is like 5 feet away from each other, and it just goes in a little circle real slow because you got like a 3-year-old or a 4 or 5-year-old on the thing. So what happened was the operator was obviously getting upset with somebody else on the other side of the machine. So he stops the machine midway while people's trying to get off, because the way you're supposed to take people off, it looked like one at a time, because it's a circle wheel. It's not the flat one where everybody can just get off at one time. He actually have to go to you. You have to wait until it's your turn. He stopped in mid, in between, just to go over there and push another guy. Now, this guy is a guy in a purple shirt, and reading the comments, they say he worked there. So I don't know what it was, like security or whatever it is, but he pushed the guy. So obviously the operator is in a bad mood. So then when he lets the last cart down, which is this black girl, I think she was the last one. And when she got out, she got in his face. Obviously, I'm sure she was like, why would you sit up there and leave me? And then he pushes her. Now, mind you, in this action of him pushing her, we already see a man pushing a woman. Yeah. But then the poor little baby was in between, knocked the little baby down, and when that little baby fell, I ain't saying it was just because of the baby, but by the time the baby fell, about 4 women just commenced. Do you hear me? They was on that boy so fast. The 2 guys that came there late
didn't even have a chance to get in because,
one dude was like sticking his leg in trying to get a hit in.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, let me get one in. And the other dude was trying to come up top, like, let me get in on it. Hey, I'm proud of y'all women.
Yeah. I think the point of the story was, the man, first of all, had the audacity to kind of disrespect the woman, her children, enjoying a fair ride. Like, first of all, dude, why are you working in the public and you don't know how to control your anger or, whatever your frustration is? And then why do you think it's okay to put your hands on a woman?
True.
What she said to you. And whatever you did or said, it was enough for her to get upset because you affected the children. You were talking to the children. Yeah. And, and to the point, this society, the world we're in now, enough is enough. And this, it goes without saying, the man who pushed the woman was a white man. And then, he pushed a black woman and her 2 children fell as a result. And it was like all the women in the area was like, oh, no, sir, you're not going to do that.
Not in 2021.
We're fed up. We're tired of being mistreated by people who think that we're less than them. And we're not. We just like we're looking at the news this week, the world could kind of exhale for 5 minutes before we heard about another incident with the police officer. Now, that's another story. I kind of have mixed emotions about that story. It's unfortunate that a young girl lost her life. And we don't have all the details yet. But, to go from, getting the indictment or the guilty verdict in the George Floyd case, and then learning about the young lady in Ohio who lost her life, from a police shooting, who was, from what we know, was fighting for her life, defending herself. And I don't really want to speak over until all the details come out, but it's just all so unfortunate, and the timing was so bad.
Yeah.
So prayers to everyone involved in that case. Prayers to the George Floyd family, and one time for the sisters who had the other sisters back at the park who wasn't going that day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Want to give you a shout out to Jimmy. I see you, Jimmy. Now, guess what I do? I have mixed emotions about that Ohio situation. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna be honest with you now. If that was Jahan, my wife, because I don't have a child, so the closest thing I can come up with was my mom, my sister, and my wife. If that was any one of them, women in my life, that's about to get stabbed. Thank you.
What would you want to do?
Thank you. Police officer. Yeah. I didn't say what he did was right. I don't know. Would a taser have kept her from doing it? I mean, she was close. She was already in emotions. It looked like, I don't know. We wasn't there. Split-second decision. At least he ain't trying to lie and say he thought it was his taser. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, if it was my wife or a woman in my life, and she get stabbed. It's either like her or you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, and we'll wait to see how that story unfolds.
Yeah.
And kind of go from there. Well, I guess that we come to our Let's Time to Straighten It Out segment. Y'all about to hear my bars. Now, this part is meant to be fun. We do the Let's Straighten It Out segment and have people send us their, emails or their messages or texts and kind of give us a problem that they want our help solving. The letter we're going to show today, the segment is funny, but this letter isn't funny. But it does kind of go with some of the things that we've talked about that happen in the news as far as how women are treated. So I didn't want to do it because it was so deep. But we're going to go ahead and do it, and let's do it.
You finna give them bars, though?
I'm going to give them some bars, because I know the people want my bars. So,
the people want your bars, Jahan.
They want bars.
Oh, Jahan finna hit you with the bars. Let's go. Here we go.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey. Hey. Let's go.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey.
It's time to straighten it out.
Hey. What you got for us, John? What you got? What you got?
All right, so I'm gonna blow this up so I can read it. So it's Dear Jonathan and Jahan. I met a guy on a dating site. We texted and called each other for a few weeks. We decided to go out on a date. To my surprise, he appeared to be who he said he was. He was genuinely a nice guy and a gentleman. He invited me over for a nightcap, and I was really interested in this guy and was curious about how he lived. So far, he was too good to be true. As the evening went on, he had served me too many drinks, and I knew I needed to get home, and was starting to feel uncomfortable. One thing led to another, and I asked him to stop, but he was persistent. He started to get aggressive, and I could not fight him off. Eventually, I got tired of pushing him off and gave in and let him finish so that I could leave and go home. Now he won't stop calling me. Now he would not stop calling me. My friends and family told me it was my fault and said I was stupid for going over there. What should I do? Hurt, lost, and confused.
Man, you know, I hate that we even going through this in this day and age, because it's a thin line. You know, they say it's a thin line between love and hate. You know, in a guy's perspective, and I'm talking about especially when I was younger. You know, when sometimes a woman be like, stop, but you got like two different kind of stops. It seems like
I was
it's
going
like
to say
the
that.
stop,
Yeah.
like for real though, stop, and then it's the stop.
Stop, come closer.
Yeah, and it's like,
what do you do?
But I'm not gonna act like it ain't no men. It's not men out there who do take it too far.
Who do, yeah. Here's the thing about that is no is no.
No
and
means
even
no.
if you are not sure or you confused about what no she means, stop and ask. Because what you don't want to do is violate a person who you think you care about. Now, just reading this letter, and I had to take some of the stuff out because, you know, like a lot of it was deep. And you can tell when people are reaching out, you want to be sensitive to that, but you want to answer their question too. And that goes back to train your men, train your boys, your sons better. General rule to me, men, no means no. And if you're confused or don't know what no she means, stop and ask her. Because you want to take that 5 seconds to stop whatever it is you're doing to make sure you guys are on the same page, then spend next 5 to 10 years in jail.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you now, when I have children and any child in my life, I'm going to say report it. And it's just not women, it's men and women too. No means no. And if that gets violated, report it. Say something. In regards to the letter, lost, hurt, and confused, you need to report what happened. And if your friends and family can't support you, find somebody who can. You know, go to the police, find a counselor, talk to somebody with some sense, because it's never your fault when you're violated. It's never your fault when you're violated. If someone doesn't respect your person and your body, then they need to face the consequences. I call it put the law in their life and make them understand. And I bet the next time they put their hands on somebody, they'll know what no means. Especially with someone, you know, you're getting someone intoxicated. You know, they're drinking. They can't think clearly. They're saying, no, I want to go home. And you still push yourselves on them. Ladies and gentlemen, that's assault. That's rape. And so that person needs to face the consequences. There is no innocent, I didn't know, you should have asked. So to that young lady, to this lady who, you know, who sent this message in, no means no. And since you said no and you feel the way you feel, he's still calling you, report it. You don't have to talk to him, let the law talk to him. That's how I think you need to straighten it out.
All right, now, let me say this. I'm going to read a couple of comments. Shout out to Song Dropper. Number one, he's in the house. I see Steven. Steven said, look, okay, now that's assault. Blank. Kenya says no means no. Now, Jimmy said, now this is just plain and simple. She was raped. She asked him to stop and kept going. Now, Steven said, we cannot sweep this away. Kenya said she was in a bad situation, but that didn't give him the right to do all of that. All right. Now, this is what I'm gonna say too, because didn't she also say like her family said
Yeah.
you crazy,
You
family
was
and
the one
friends,
over there, yeah.
or you should? Why would you let that happen? I wouldn't let nobody get on me. You can't say what you gonna do if you was in and you ain't been in that situation. That's one thing I can't stand when people say. You know, it's almost like if you watching a football game and then you say so and so was gonna win, and then the other team win, they be like, "I told you so and so was gonna win. Stop it." You know, good and well. Now the game is over with and it's all said and done, and you know who the winner is. Now you gonna say that. What they call it, after the fact? Hey, come on now. I mean, if you was in that situation, what would you really do?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are men out there, and I probably know a few, unfortunately, that will pull something like that.
Yeah. And I think that was not. I think that's where the Me Too movement, stemmed from. Situations that were put in situations where, they couldn't defend themselves, and if they said something, they risked losing their jobs or whatever. Man, and I think I've said it every week. Talk to your female friends, and you would be surprised of how many of your female friends have been in this situation. But they, it's like, let me just go ahead and get this over with so this dude can leave me alone so I can go home. So I can move on. And then find themselves dodging the guy every chance they get. At least with this one, hopefully he doesn't know where she lives. He blowing her phone up. But, hopefully he doesn't know where she lives. They hadn't gotten that far because they just texted and, talked on the phone for a little while. But, again, this is where conversations need to be had, platforms where women can express themselves and men can actually hear perspectives from women to learn how to better protect the women in your circles, the women in your life. It's unfortunate, but, if she's watching, if she's on, put the law in their life. You don't have to talk to him, but the law talk to him. It's to be a lesson he'll learn.
Miss Porter, shout out to you. I'm glad you came on in. Hey, she said she's sick of it. Yeah. All this victim blaming. Now, my man Jimmy did say, now you have to make sure you don't put yourself in that situation. Now, I don't want to call that blaming, or is there a such thing as making sure you don't put yourself in that situation?
At what point do you say you went over to someone's house to have a drink? And contrary to popular demand, that's not an automatic I'm going to give it up situation. She went over for a drink. She was uncomfortable and was trying to leave when the man assaulted her. At what point does she not go to his house? Do she not, get to know someone, go over there and have a conversation, go to dinner or drink or whatever the situation was? At what point did she put herself in a situation to where she set herself up for rape? And that's, again, this I think it's an education thing. A woman wearing a short skirt does not say touch me. A woman going to a guy's house for a drink is not saying I want to fuck you. That's just not always. Does it happen? Of course it does. But that's not the case all the time.
Ms. Porter said it's not the women putting themselves into the situation. It's the man making the choice to do the assault. You know what? Hey, this life after 40, it's time to take some accountability. Yeah. It's time to take some accountability. I mean, is it really, at what point, if you're going to try to blame the woman, really, at what point is it like,
does the man take a responsibility?
It's time to take accountability.
Yeah.
But what about when they say the tease, the women that like to tease,
What's the tease? As a woman and listening to friends who have been in situations, I think I have a pretty charming personality, and if I smile and bat my eyes, I'm just being a lady, so at what point am I teasing you? Because I smile at you, that's a tease? Like, where's the tease? Is it, her rubbing herself on him and then saying no? Is that what is a tease? I'm asking, what's a tease?
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example of a tease, and I think some men, and like I said, this is, at our younger age, I would say like an example of a tease is she may let you feel on her and then tell you to stop. And then y'all start kissing again and she'll stop. And then it's like, hold on now, come on close. And then you're doing something and flirting around and messing around, and then she stopped. Kind of like that, But respectively, as a person like me, when she stopped, okay, I'm going to stop. as bad as I want to. But then there's some guys, when they take it too far, like, hold on now, you ain't gonna get me to this point, we're gonna keep playing around. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's not right. I agree. Yeah. That is not right. And it is time to take accountability.
Yeah. That's self-control. That's self-management. If you control. Yeah. If you can't control yourself to the point to where you gotta force yourself on someone after they say no, then she's not the problem, you are. The guy is.
Okay. Now Jimmy said now it's the first date. So why are we going over somebody's house? Ms. Porter says she don't really agree with that though. It's still the choice.
I disagree too. Because especially during COVID, it was a lot of first dates at people's houses. You know, that's not saying I'm going over there because we can't go to a restaurant. We can't sit at restaurants, you know.
No movies.
Just there's nothing to do. But, you know, again, men should have enough self-control to be able to have someone at your house and you not jump on them. That's it. Point blank, period. I mean, that's just what it is.
Let me ask you this. Is it safe to say that a man who invites a woman to his house for drinks is not trying to have sex?
I would think so. There are men out there who are like that. There are men out there, you know, I'm going to cook dinner for. I'm interested in this lady. I'm going to cook dinner for. And, you know, may have a glass of wine and conversation afterwards and have the capability to be able to say, all right, thanks for coming over. Good night.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to me.
Want to give a good shout out to Lawrence. Appreciate you coming on in. Tennessee State in the house.
Yeah. And I see Jimmy's comment. That's not safe though. And, you know, it may not be, but it's perspective. You know, I just think, you know, people need to manage themselves accordingly. At the point she felt uncomfortable, she had the right to say, okay, I'm ready to go. And he not push himself on her. All right. Anything else? Because I know it's a delay, so I don't want to, rush it out
before somebody say something.
Yeah.
Anybody want to say something? Say it with your chest. Want to call in because these are like little tough situations. Miss Porter ain't playing. But these are bad situations.
Yeah, call in 770-376-7230 if you want to, don't want to type a comment but want to call in and be anonymous. Feel free to do so. That's 770-376-7230.
Broad went in and said everything he used to do was for sex.
That's unfortunate.
What's in the real?
I ain't saying.
Oh yeah.
That's my opinion. I think that's unfortunate. Is it, so if you take someone to the movies, that's okay. I'm getting sex tonight.
Well,
and then if you don't get it,
no, you're right.
Look, I spent back in the day, I spent my $5 for this movie ticket. You gonna give me something?
I think
is that what we saying?
Hold on, and when I say no, it's because I grew up a little bit with Broad. I think what he really meant was everything he did it for sex. Because I did say, does it mean that if a man's trying to bring her drinks, you know what I'm saying, is he trying to have sex? Is he like, come on to the house and let's get some drinks? Like, it's the ultimatum, like try to get you drunk. No matter what, we can have sex.
I get that.
And he said everything he did. If he took you to the movies, if he took you out to eat, if you came over to the house, that's what it was all about. And at the end of the day, when you meet somebody, I don't want to call it the end goal, but ain't that part of the end game? Anyway,
that can be your goal. At the point she says that's not my goal,
true.
Your goal needs to change.
Yeah, okay, I'm not laughing. Yeah, you're right.
That's just what it is.
You're right.
If y'all not on the same page, you guys didn't have the same goals. Your goal could have been sex tonight. Her goal could have been dinner tonight. Somebody's not aligned. Now, the difference is if you decide to move on with your goal, you going to jail. And you done ruined this woman's life.
I don't know how somebody can have a character where they are enjoying a sexual act without the consent of the other person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when they not into it.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
How do
you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that even get you to that point? And the person that's doing it, that you're supposed to be doing it with, is not even consenting. Is really fighting it. It's very uncomfortable. You can tell.
Yeah.
I never really, I never really wanted drunk, a drunk woman where she didn't know what was going on. That's the worst. Drugs. Right. Drunk, but that's me.
Right. All right. So Barbie put in here, if I change my mind, I change my mind. Men listen, boys don't hear. Period. God the physicalities. I lost it in move. Can I do it that way?
Oh, men listen, boys don't hear.
Oh.
Period. Regardless of the physicality.
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead. Arousal.
Or of arousal, maturity and consideration and respect should be superseded. Yes, should supersede. Correct. So once she says no, she got the right to change her mind. Now they are changing rape laws in states across the United States. So if the act has started and the woman says no, they're now trying to make it, where legally, well, you and I already started, you can't change your mind now.
That's unfortunate too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. That's unfortunate. I don't like that either. I don't know, man. I'm just
Kenya, yeah, but Kenya is, I'm still stuck on her family and friends, Sometimes you gotta check that circle. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. Thank you guys for interacting with this letter, but we want to go ahead and get to our panel for the evening as well. Again, we are highlighting small businesses, small but mighty businesses, and these are people who we have on here who's going to talk to us about their business, the product and service that they are selling or advertising, and kind of get an idea of how they started their business, what's kind of kept them going, what challenges they had, and how they overcame them. Again, if you want to highlight your business during this episode, go ahead and give us a call at 770-376-7230, 770-376-7230, and we'll be happy to bring you on as well. But we're going to go ahead and get to our panel. So I'm going to get ready to bring them up. Give me 1 second here. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good. So I'm gonna go ahead and I know Barbie was coming in now because she's chatting in the comments too. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us this evening. What I want to do is go ahead and give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourselves and your business, and we'll go from there. So we'll start with the overviews up here to my right.
Hi, I'm Terrell Oglesby. I am a paparazzi independent consultant, and I also own a nail wrap and nail business for cuticles. I was about to say that again.
And how you doing? My name is Jonas Oglesby. I am the owner of JS Enterprises LLC TN, and we operate under the name J Square Designs. We are a series LLC, so we do custom embroidery, T-shirt work, but then we also have J Square Works that does many home improvement endeavors, backsplash, flooring, painting, things of that nature. And then we also have J Squared Consulting, which is a data analytics consulting, with having 20 years experience in the healthcare data analytics field.
Oh, awesome. Barbara, you with us? Oh, there she go. Hey.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, everybody. Hi.
Hey. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let's know
what
I am a
Okay, cool. My name is Barbie Evans, real name Barbara, but no one calls me that. I actually 9-to-5 job. I work at Tech Partners, operated by Bill McCleskey, Fisk University alumni, started his own business. And from there is where I got the idea, because he's such a powerhouse entrepreneur. I got the idea to try to monetize or open up my writing skills to small businesses. So what I do is I write articles on small businesses, how they got started, what their journeys are, what their accomplishments are, kind of like how this podcast is, except I put everything in writing and create articles for them. The difference between what I do and I guess you could say Tennessean is the business owners have the rights to the article, meaning you can use it in snippets or in whole for your future marketing purposes. I did a story on Dave Alexander, the comedian that tours with Jess Hilarious. Story on Becky Russell, the graphic designer that created the famous Tennessee mural that's at Fifth Highway Slim and Husky. And they are
Mhm.
all, the stories are all on my website, and I insert links to, and I also ask for affiliations. So that means that whatever you do, if your link is inside my story, if someone reads your story, they have a direct line to whatever you do in your business. So it just draws more traffic to what you have going on.
Oh, cool. Cool. Sounds good. So again, people, if you have questions for our business owners, please go ahead and feel free to put those in the comments and we will get those asked. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with our first question. So second question rather. And this is gonna go to everyone. Tell us about some of the challenges you had when opening up your businesses.
Capital.
Yeah.
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 If you are not able to self-fund your business, it's raising the capital in order to get whatever it is you need. Inventory, supplies, whatever. Capital was a big one.
Yeah.
And,
What
capital plays a big part in that when definitely when it's not something that you intentionally set out to start doing. So like, my situation, I've always had what we call our side hustles. But of course, COVID hit. I get job eliminated last June, and it's kind of that decision of, well, it's a pandemic. What do you do? Do you get back in the rat race of corporate America, or do you say, hey man, I'm gonna take a shot on and bet on me for a change? So in
Yeah.
that type of situation, it's not something that you set out and plan to necessarily do. It's just, it's circumstances. And in that case, it truly is, okay, this is my thought. Now, how do I garner the capital necessary? I need certain equipment. I need to get uniforms. I certain materials I need. Like, what are the steps do I do to accomplish that? So
Yeah. What about you, Barbie?
now, uh, capital necessary equipment. I need to get uniforms. I certain materials I
Somebody I
need.
think is
Like, what
watching the
steps
live
do I
and on the line.
Mhm.
What about you, Barbie? No, Jonas.
I think for me, because what my product is not necessarily tangible. It's more like a creative content. And so I think for me, I just had to get out of my own way. I've always been able to write. I just had to gear it towards making sure that I represent the business. And I guess one of the challenges that I faced is trying to make sure that my writing uh, personally fits the person that I'm writing about and brings out their different approach to whatever genre they're in. So I've written stories about people in fitness and health, comedians. I've never written about a comedian before, so I had to do research. So I guess my challenge is trying to find a time to make sure that I give every single niche its just due, because these are people's lifestyle. This is your business. And I want to make sure that I represent that right in the way that I write it. I can say that I can write, but if I don't represent what they have going on and where they're going, then it's a bust for the clientele. So my challenge is researching a lot of different subject matters that I may not have known that much about before.
Right. And I think all three of you had really good points, especially about the capital and then getting out of your own way. And then sometimes starting businesses that are not intentional. And I think that's when people, kind of get really nervous. Because, like for me, like I can, design flyers. And next thing I know, people ask me to design flyers and then paying me. So now I'm freaking out. So something that I do all the time, now I'm scared to do because I don't want to, oh, now you're paying me. So now this is like work. And then it's
Yep.
like, well, am I good enough? Can I really do this? And then can I sustain myself?
Yep.
So it's like, with pandemic hit, people losing their jobs. So now can I sustain myself doing this? And people have opinions about that. Go ahead.
And that's an honest question that you ask yourself as an entrepreneur. I mean, I can honestly sit here and say that my biggest thing, I have to agree with Barbie, is I had to get out of my own way. Like, after you work in corporate America literally for 20 years, and all of a sudden it's just All right, well, I ain't got to get up and be at the office at 8 today. I'm not. I don't have that. This is your schedule for the day and the things you need to get done. So it's kind of okay. Can I sustain myself? You have that self doubt at times, and that's really where support comes in. I mean, I don't think I can speak enough to your friends and family supporting you. Just if it's nothing but words of encouragement to you. I have plenty of people that check in. Hey man, you good? You doing all right? Or when you design something, put, hey man, that's fire, bro. Hey man, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, I don't think people realize how much that positive mindset and those positive words mean to entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
because it is an ebb and flow to it, and you do have those times that you just kind of like, am I doing the right thing? Do I need to make a change? Am I missing something?
Yeah. No, so with that, I still have a box package, and Jonathan picks it up. Like, what are you gonna send this box off? I'm gonna mail this box off because I bought a jacket. It's like I don't really like the jacket, but I see your work on Facebook. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get Jonas to, I sketched some ideas together, so I'm gonna get him so he can do something with this. I'm gonna send that jacket tomorrow. I promise. I promise him. Your jacket, the jacket I'm gonna send to you. Danielle made me a nice little charm bracelet. Was a little too big. Both of them are sitting on a bed, packaged. But gotta be sent out. And then Corel, I wear your paparazzi all the time. People think I pay real good money for this. So I'm wearing a little necklace set now. I just got the gold one to beat it because I like beads.
Yes.
I'm not a real, jewel person. I like beads. And one of the guests we were gonna have one day, she makes custom stuff. So I put her stuff on. So y'all both of y'all stuff sitting up in my closet, like I done went and got it all Christmas. Like,
We
oh my
appreciate
Yes,
that.
yes, we
Look,
do.
we
We
appreciate
appreciate it.
that.
So the package coming in the mail, Jonathan's like,
Yeah,
what
they
is
appreciate
this?
that box though, because it's been sitting on the bed. So we got a question from Miss Porter. Miss Porter has a question for Barbie,
Don't you do me?
Yes.
like you never done before. Now, Barbie, she said, "What was the very first thing that you wrote?" Now, as an aspiring writer herself, she don't know where to start and what to even do with that.
Oh my goodness. Okay. See, I don't want to cheat, so I could say the first thing that I've written for another person. Um, I the first story that I've written. Well, I started a website called Unscripted Inscriptions maybe like 7 years ago, and I would just find people to write about, like, what do you do? What's your niche? So, but I've been writing maybe since I was 5. However, there is a niche for businesses learn how to do. So, and when I say anybody, pretty much anybody. So copywriting is one of the things that's really in right now, especially for people with content. So if you're looking in to try to monetize, I would say follow Bab Writing. She's one of the highest paid copywriters in the industry. And if you're looking to write about other people's business, I would also say like grab Nashville Scene or like the Tennessee and the Business Journal, and kind of get some feel from there. So like the first thing I written was probably when I was like 8, because I'm just a huge nerd. So so you can you can ignore that part. But for writing for people, I would probably say I started about 7 years ago.
And real quick, can you say the name of that person again who's the highest paid?
Yeah, her name is Bab Writing. She's on Instagram. It's spelled BAAB Writing Styles. She is one of the highest paid copywriters. And so what she does is she creates content for businesses like landing pages and things like that. And she sells different templates. And she also has a training module on there that's not that expensive if you want to get into the field of content writing for businesses.
Nice.
All right.
We got another question.
Yeah. So, what's the best thing a husband, wife, partner can do to support an entrepreneur in their life?
Appreciate that, Eric.
I'm gonna say really communication and understanding, and I say that in twofold, because one, you have to communicate when something's on your mind. Um, if you feeling neglected, like, hey man, you've been working 9 to 5, you come in, you hitting the business. Hey man, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. you know, I think
I feel attacked.
no. But I think people at times sometimes can take their spouse or their partner for granted and just thinking like, hey, they always gonna be there. Hey, they know what's going on. It's all good. But for the spouse or the partner, you got to communicate those things. Nobody's a mind reader. Kind of going back to the subject matter y'all had earlier. It's about that communication. It's about making sure you're on the same page. And when you get that feedback from your spouse or your partner, the other person has to be understanding. They have to be able to take themselves out of the situation and understand.
Well, not just understand, but compromise too.
Yes.
Because some of it is compromise.
Yes.
So while you have a goal as a business, right? Because all businesses have goals. And number one, you need to set a goal if you don't have one.
Yeah.
But you have to also take a step back and say, hey, if my spouse is feeling like I haven't spent time with them or whatever it is, you got to figure out how you can make that work. The other thing is we live on a calendar.
Man.
So everything goes on a calendar. This show is on the calendar. Yeah. And if it's not on the calendar,
it's not real.
It's not real.
It doesn't exist.
You didn't tell me about it.
And that's a good idea. And I can relate to that because, see, my husband has a small business. And one thing that I kind of learned about being a spouse of an entrepreneur is that you become an employee too.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Secretary skills are a real thing.
Yes, they are.
People think I'm joking when I say
unsolicited
I'm
labor.
a DJ assistant. Like, I can hook up equipment. I pack up equipment. I carry equipment. And so
I answer emails. Hey, did you see that? Did you see that message? Did you get this? Let me pack up this box. But then the flip side is I vend. So, hey, I need you to help me come set up my tent. I need you to help me set up my table. He's there. So, yeah.
I like that calendar idea because, see, my husband keeps his calendar in his brain.
And then
he makes plans, and he's like, so
I used to double book myself, man. I used to double book myself.
That's another thing too. So it's been times we would pack up. Oh, wait a minute, I got a gig in 2 hours. Do where?
Hey, I'm telling you, Google Calendar is great. So, like, if you got a Gmail account, you already got your own personal. You can actually make a calendar, share it with whoever, whether it's your partner, your spouse, your kids, whatever the case may be, where everybody can see that. So it's not clouding up your calendar. It's literally is out there for everybody to see. Everybody knows. It helps us a lot.
Now, I want to just kind of chime in. I just want to slide in every so often, just a statement or something about Walker's Cafe. And I want to say this: when we first opened, one of the biggest challenges that irks my nerve. Hey man, if I take the bread off, can I get $2 off? $7.99. But then I'm thinking, like, you go to Red Lobster and everywhere else, and you don't complain. And you know we cheaper. You know we trying to be. We know we ain't got it like that. You know pretty much what the African American household gets in the United States. Come on now.
But see, I think that goes into, if I may, our respect for ourselves, because like we have a lack of I guess of emphasis on what we're trying to do. So it's one thing to say, oh, okay, I support them and they're doing their thing. Support me monetarily, because McDonald's is a conglomerate. And I don't know if anybody has watched The Founder, but McDonald's is a conglomerate that got pulled out of the hands of the real people who created McDonald's, because he had ingenious ideas about what the business could be. However, McDonald's is paid every single day, every single minute, and nobody questions, could they afford for me not to pay them full price for this meal? So when we come to our neighborhoods, and it's always, well, we don't want to give that much, or we're always asking, I think that goes into respect for ourselves as businessmen and women, that I think that we should have more pride. Like if someone opens up a shop, I want to pay you full price plus a tip. And not to say like you just got it like that. It's just out of respect for what they're trying to do, and the fact that they are running their own business against everything else that we have to face.
Right. I know me personally, whenever I, reach out to a vendor or contractor, whatever, I don't negotiate prices, because it's like, one, if I could do it myself, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yep.
Talking,
That's right.
So, me personally, I don't like to haggle people and negotiate. It is what it is, and that's that. Especially when they are small businesses.
And I think that's the piece that some people miss out on in understanding. We operate under our assessment of our price is our price. Either you go pay it or you gonna go somewhere else. It's cool. It's not personal. It's completely business. And that's the thing I tell people all the time. It's like, business is business. This ain't personal. This it ain't meaning I'm gonna not be your friend. I'm not gonna like you. It's just, hey, you didn't feel that the pricing was fair to your opinion for whatever it is you was trying to get. And you can have that opinion, and it's okay to disagree. But that doesn't mean I'm going to lower what I feel my product is worth to fit your thinking, or just to make a sale. Because when you think about your pricing, you think about not only the materials and the cost, but you also have to keep in mind the labor and the time. And I think people lose out on understanding that time is actually the most valuable thing that you have, because you don't know how much of it you have. You may not be here tomorrow. So anybody giving you time is saying a lot to you in how they think of you to give you time. So from a product, it's almost like a labor of love, because you're putting your love and your passion into that, because that is time spent. If you could do something else with that time, you probably would. But you understand, hey, this is something that I'm passionate about and that I want to do. So when it comes to pricing and discounting, it's like, hey man, this is my price. If you don't like it, it's cool. I'll wait for the next person. But
I think another thing is people mistake micro business versus small business.
Yes.
Most of us are micro businesses. So it's just us.
Right.
So you're asking me to discount, no matter whether MLMs, you make your own, whatever your business is, 9 times out of 10, especially in our community, it's probably a micro business. And so you are literally asking me what I spent hours on, you now want me to discount. And it's just me making, pushing, selling, or whatever. It's not that I got 5 or 6, 10, 20 employees and I'm a small business. It's probably just me.
Right.
And that's big when you're asking someone for a discount. And I don't think people really understand that.
Right. I think that goes back to, sometimes your capital are your own personal resources. Like, you are your capital. Whatever you're doing, sometimes you're paying out of pocket up front.
Exactly.
Reimburse yourself and then pay the business. And no one is doing business just to break even.
Nobody.
I think people forget that too, because I get on Jonathan. About DJing, and we don't live in Nashville anymore. But because most of his base is out of Nashville, people want to charge him down the street prices, like pay down the street prices. But no one, you got an employee, you got to pack up. We got to travel. And people don't think about that. It's like, you're going to charge me that for, 6 hours? Dude, how much you get paid for 6 hours? It's your job.
Exactly.
And it's not just, it's not just playing music. If it was just playing music, you do it yourself. It's not,
And I think people lose sight of it, especially in Jonathan's arena. It's like anybody can throw a playlist together, but if the playlist is gonna get everybody hyped, then
do that.
There wouldn't be a market for DJing.
It's not just the DJ; it's the hype. Because you go to any party, right? Anybody can play the music, but it's that swag that DJ pulls into it is what sets the party off.
Right.
So if everybody could do it, like you said, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
I don't like talking to people, so I ain't finna be no DJ. I will call Jonathan. I'm finna pay you. What are your prices? Does that include your gas? You need food too, somewhere to stay? Because it's certain stuff that I'm just not gonna do.
Yeah, and I think people kind of forget that too. So when I hear them on the phone,
right?
Go ahead, Bob.
And then DJ, and I don't, I've seen, quite a few people that I know play music for people, including Jonathan. And I don't think it's just playing music. It's reading the crowd. It's figuring out what they want to hear. It's reading the personalities. It's reading the culture. It's reading the norms of what may or may not be acceptable in that crowd.
Right.
And so it's a lot of, I don't mean to be like weird about it, but it's a lot of psychological things that go in when you walk into a space and you have to present music. You got to figure out, okay, is it a wedding or are y'all kicking it? Is it a bachelor's party or is it a female thing? Is it dudes? Like, is it a promotion? Like, there's a lot of different things that go into what you play and when you play it. And so to shortchange somebody who's been doing it for as long as Jonathan has, I just think, is like Jahan said, it's kind of unacceptable because it's like, you called me because you know I could deliver. So why are you trying to shortchange my delivery? Like,
and that's and that's what people who I have like doing craft stuff, like I said, this jewelry and stuff. I don't care how much your product is. Whatever you charge me is what I'm going to pay. I don't need to see a receipt. I don't need to see nothing. Jonas, hey, can you do our backsplash? We got the. It wasn't well, we give you tools. How you gonna charge us? We could do it. We would have done it. And so you gotta think that it was a fable I heard once. People talking, old man doing a lawn service, has been doing it 50 years. And somebody asked him, well, how much you gonna charge me to come edge my yard? He said, well, it's gonna be $100. He said, $100 for that? He said, it's $25, worth my time, but you're getting $75 worth of experience. You're not just paying for, me doing it. I gotta get there. I got my equipment. All stuff gotta be paid. We don't buy this stuff just to have it.
No
investment.
You're definitely paying for people's knowledge and experience. It's so when you sit there and you ask someone for a discount, you're essentially discounting and shortchanging the amount of time it took them to acquire that skill and that knowledge. And it's essentially time that you're not trying to spend to figure it out. So if you got somebody that's been been honing their craft for 15, 20 years, okay, you ain't trying to spend 15, 20 years to obtain that skill set. What you're trying to do is rent that service. Okay, that's cool. So that means you got to pay for that 15, 20-year experience price. If you don't want to pay that, find somebody who's been doing it for 5.
Yeah.
They'll probably be a little bit cheaper.
And for those people who are negotiating with small business owners, think about this. Would you get your hair braided by somebody who's been braiding hair or getting your hair cut by somebody who's been cutting hair, braiding hair for 2 days? Or somebody and gonna charge you $5, or somebody who's been doing it 10 years and gonna charge you $30. Who you gonna go to?
Don't give me that 30.
I need my line straight. Especially now I'm cutting my hair off too. I need my line straight.
I remember when I was young. All right, Causeway Highway. I was young. We was living in Kings Lane, and my dad passed up Kroger's. Just built the Kroger's. I bet y'all don't even remember back that far when Kroger's just first got built.
Yep.
He would pass Kroger's and still go to Hunter CB. Daddy, why you going a little bit old Hunter CB? Let's go on to Kroger's. He was like, nah, man, this is why our community don't have the money that it doesn't have now. And then he told me stories about the Jews, the Chinese, I don't want to say it wrong, Laos, what were we talking about? The Korean, you know what I mean? Chinatown Asians. All right. How they will go and bypass so many other companies and still pay the extra $2 just to keep the money in the family.
Yeah.
And just like y'all say, we don't even respect a family of African Americans to say that I'll bypass Kroger's to go spend my money here to keep it within the family. Almost like generational wealth.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get on that because you know what I'm talking about. Where who we got? Name somebody real quick. This man.
What?
Outside the race. You know how you get wealth, and then you go get to
like Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So now when Michael Jordan passed away, most of his wealth stays within that community and goes out of the African American community. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
hopefully, if you're smart, it don't.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, we.
A whole other conversation.
Well, yeah, true. But we don't.
I think that.
Go ahead.
I just think that goes back to us wanting. See, and then I'm going to get on something else. So I'm trying to be careful about it. I think that goes back to us wanting the right to spend our money with other cultures who didn't want us to begin with. And I think that that's still ingrained in us. In that if I give it to our counterparts, then that means that I'm getting something more exclusive, more expensive, or better, or more than, because we just couldn't wait to go give our hard-earned African-American dollars to the restaurants and the businesses that told us to eat in the back. And I think that goes into what we were taught, in that if you spend your money with bigger corporations that are not of your own, then that means you've achieved, you've arrived, I no longer have to go to Hunter's, I can go to Kroger's. So it's like it's this persona that we've been embedded in our mentality, that we think to spend outside of our race means that we have hit this certain status quo that is actually non-existent and quite invisible and a farce. So I think that goes into what we beg for, not understanding the repercussions of it.
And Barbara, I think you hit it dead on the head with that, because I mean, you think about somebody goes into a Gucci or Louis Vuitton store. Hey man, they gonna spend, they ain't asking about no discounts, no coupons, no nothing. But yet you go into a store in our community that's Black owned or something of that nature, and it is that. Oh, they 25? Well, can I get it for 20? And it's that whole thought process of the brand I've arrived on. Well, but that's Gucci though. Okay, and it's still a belt. It's still gonna hold your pants up. I think you hit on the psyche of looking, of that wanting to belong, that acceptance, rather than, hey man, at the end of the day, you buying the belt because you want to keep your pants up. I hope in most cases.
You need a belt, right? Right.
But in other instances, it is, I just want to be able to show that, hey, I've made it to a certain point. You feel that it gives you some type of status, which is really all about looking for that acceptance. And it's, I look at it more like, are you comfortable in your own skin? Can you just sit there and say, man, dude, I can have on me some Walmart khakis, some Payless penny loafers, and this Dickie belt, and I'm still me. I still have my self-worth of who I am as an individual. It's not necessarily about the brand. Now, I ain't saying that you want to wear higher end brands. Hey, knock yourself out and go get your higher end brands. But the thing is, you want to be the individual that makes the clothes, not the clothes make the individual. And I think
it's not even clothes. It's whatever.
It's whatever it is. And I think that's the piece that people get caught up in. They go out and try to get these items to like make them, rather than making the item.
Before we move on, those who want to call in or want to share their thoughts on today's topics, 770-376-7230. Feel free to join the conversation. We're going to stop right here. We have Nahila Treese, who is getting ready to come on. She does our weekly affirmation. So if she's ready, we're going to go ahead and bring her on. Feel free to join the conversation. we're gonna stop right here. We have Nahila Trees who is holding, getting ready to come
Hey,
on.
Mike, are you ready?
She does our
Hello.
she's ready.
Hi,
So
how are
if
you
want to
doing?
some out here, feel free.
How are you?
Okay, so doing well, doing
guys
well.
hear me?
Thanks for joining us today. And we know you're an entrepreneur as well. So if you want to stay on, please feel free to do so. But we're gonna give you this time to do your affirmation.
Yes, Jonathan, what
Okay.
you got to say? What you looking at? Okay.
That beautiful thing you sent me. Just let me know when
Always.
you're ready. Go ahead and play
I
it now.
am ready. Like we stated last week, this is a series of how to love a strong woman. And today's affirmation is she knows she is valuable at times. So she builds others up because she knows what it feels like to be down. Not all women may be physically less stronger than men, but they can also embrace the tender side. A strong woman knows a strong woman knows that opening up her inner emotions, struggles, and is actually a way of sharing her courage with others. In saying that, we as I'm going to say beautiful brown and black women tend not to want to talk about the bad side of life a lot of times. I think now, since the pandemic has hit, everybody kind of see that this moment, this second, this hour, this day is not promised to you. So now I think we're now trying to embrace each other and try to let each other know, try to let the sisterhood know that we're here for you. And in loving a strong woman with this affirmation, it kind of hit home with me because we always want to talk about everybody else's situation. We always want to try to comfort everybody else, but we never take the time to comfort ourselves. We never take the time to open up and look her in the mirror and say, okay, girl, you got some stuff going on too. Now, how are you going to embrace it? How are you going to talk to yourself? So it's kind of hard sometimes being a strong woman, because if I feel like I'm about to break, I don't want to break. I don't have time to break. I don't have time to break down because my kids need me. My mom, my sister need me. My best friend needs me. So I don't want to break. I don't want that to feel like it's my weakness. But I'm here to say, baby, it's not. It's not your weakness. It's actually your strength. And when you do cry, God continues to give you that strength over and over again. You need to release all of that through your tears in order to be able to help somebody else on the next level.
Yeah. Tears, I think, are the most cleansing action you can do for your soul, to clean your soul. Because tears are just emotion and stress and stuff built in. But once you release that, sometimes it makes you feel so much better. It really does.
Yes. Yes.
You have anything you want to say, John?
Well, men are told to not cry and be strong and hold it all in, but it's like holding in toxic thoughts and feelings that make your actions toxic, and that toxicity just goes out in everything you do. And I found myself in the past that a good cry, you're right, does help.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Just let it out, and then be like, okay, well, what can I do now? What other options do we have to get that life going back in the right direction?
Yeah, that's why it's important that women be vulnerable in front of your men, and women your men have a safe place to be vulnerable, because you stop that whole oh, if he cry he's weak mentality. Normalize, men are people, they have feelings too, emotions too, so it takes a strong woman to hold up a man
Yes,
and
it
let him
does.
have that men to be vulnerable,
I do want to say something, and I remember my son is now 22, and we were talking, and he's in a relationship now. He's trying to figure this thing out, because as a single mom, I taught him, and we do this because we were taught it. Don't you be crying.
Yeah.
Don't you dare. You better man up. You're a big boy. You can do this.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, Mom, you did a great job raising us. He said, but I wish you would have taught me how to figure out my emotions when I'm upset or when I'm crying by myself, because he's not going to ever cry in front of her or me. I wish you would have kind of taught me how to sort out those feelings and try to help me with that. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Did I fail as a parent? You know what I'm saying? And you kind of got this going through your head. And now he doesn't know how to communicate with his girlfriend. He doesn't know how to open up and be vulnerable with her because he thinks it's being being a man. And I hate that. So to all you women that are raising these little boys right now, let him cry and let him know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to have feelings. And I raised him like that because I had to raise myself like that as a woman. I'm not gonna cry. You're never gonna see me cry. So how, if you're not taught to decipher your feelings and and just be emotional and be vulnerable, you're gonna have relationship problems.
Yeah. Emotional intelligence is key, because you're right. Even with me, I had both my parents in the household, but my mom, was from West Tennessee. We don't talk outside our house, and you don't tell nobody your business. So I didn't get emotional, and I think to some extent I still wear a mask most of the times. Because you don't want nobody to know what you're thinking or feeling or whatever. But it's not healthy, and I don't think my mom was great, best mom in the world.
Right.
But the world, especially the world she grew up in, you couldn't be weak. You had to be strong. You had to, especially being a Black woman, you got to be smarter, more educated than everybody else in the room. And so she taught us to have tough skin. But you got, to your point, you got to be, as women, we got to be vulnerable. We got to allow ourselves to, rejuvenate, cleanse ourselves, clear our mind, and be okay in our mess sometimes. Figure out how to get out of it. So that's deep. Now, Nike, do you have time to stay on with us?
I can.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring our panel back on.
But let me drop this Nike song. I might play this like before you come on.
Let me tell you, before you play that, you're gonna be the first person to play that ever. Nobody's never heard it.
We got a world premiere exclusive.
That's why I love my DJ Rock.
You heard the verse of the J&J Talk Show. It's a Nike exclusive. It's professional, y'all. I feel like I need to play it each and every.
Every color, every woman, number one. That's the business. What you need to get it done. Satisfaction guaranteed. Service is for a queen. All your beauty in one. Quality compared to none. Nike.
Hey.
Reaching my heart and soul.
Hey.
Changing life with a smile. Nike help your beauty shine through.
That's nice. I actually had a video for you last week. If I had that on last week, I could have. Yeah, we'll figure it out. So we'll have he said it was 6 more seconds.
That's something y'all can play with. I have been sitting on that for maybe 7 years.
What?
Oh, wow.
Man, I thought
God told me it wasn't time for me to release it. But I release it to you guys because it's time for me to release it.
All right then. Well, we're gonna make a nice little intro.
Yeah, that's your intro. Yeah, that's the intro. She
be ready next time.
Thank you.
We're gonna bring our other business owners back up, bring them back to the mainstream. Now, were you trying to add somebody else on?
Hey. Well, we
like
need some.
Johnny said, "Hey, you see him?
I know. I wave. Hello. I follow you, beautiful people. So it's like,
So we were just discussing, small businesses and going over some of the things that business owners kind of deal with.
if you got something you want to say and you want to say it with your chest, make sure you call in. We're trying to give you the opportunity to say it with your chest. And you might be able to close the deal tonight and get some cheese.
I'm about to hit John.
I'm gonna raise my hand because I do have something to say about that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
And I want to say it with my chest. Because I have owned my own business since I got out of school, 16 years as any type of makeup, lash studio. I've always had my own. Mm-hmm. But when this pandemic hit, we had to kind of scale back a little bit or close our businesses down. And I was one of those who closed down the powder room and went mobile. But here's where my problem came in. So when when the government was giving money for these small businesses, the small businesses that they were referencing was, that's my dog. And I love it and I eat there. But the Germantown pub as a small business. Mm-hmm. He's talking about, my small business, this happened and this happened. I'm like, so what? Oh. Hold on. Something else. Hold on.
So I think she was talking about small businesses who were probably okay, but not those who had 2 or 3 employees and had to shut their doors.
Micro businesses, yes.
Yeah, giving the Lakers $30 million or $300 million, and here it is.
Mega churches.
You know what I'm saying?
Mega churches are getting money and then shut the doors to the people.
Hey, but since we talking about accountability, what about the folks that's been getting these loans? They ain't need no loan. $300 million.
Mega churches.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, finish your comment. I think one of y'all got your phone on.
What about the?
That's my.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But go ahead, Nike. You can finish your statement.
So it kind of messed with me a little bit because I'm like, are they really considered a small business? What about the barbershops? What about the nail shops? What about the makeup studio we just opened? What about the dance studio we just opened? What are we considered? If we're not small businesses and it was hard for us to get those loans, what are we?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's answer that question for me.
Yeah, because I know we didn't apply because we didn't.
I think that's
qualify.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Barbie.
Yeah.
You got it, Barbie.
Okay, so my bad. Like, it's funny because when this first happened, I want to say, what is it? April. So the first business to come out and tell their Avid was the Cheesecake Factory. And I believe I saw a story that said if the Cheesecake Factory has not saved up enough money and enough
resources
over
I think we're losing you, Barbie.
And this is some great information. I hear.
Yeah, Barbie, we're losing you.
Barbie, try your cell phone like you did earlier when you first called in.
Yeah, because I think I know where she was going with that. She was saying like companies like Cheesecake Factory, are getting business loans to keep their doors open. They got a bigger issue than the pandemic. That means they're not
right.
Because there's no reason companies like that don't have enough, resources and capital to keep their doors open and pay their employees without having to go bankrupt.
My question is, how did all these people scam to get the PPP loan owing thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars? What did they say so special on a lie that they can't prove that y'all gave them money?
And then real companies were getting denied. Like, how was it that people who didn't really have businesses were getting the loans, and then really people who had to close their doors didn't qualify? Like, what's up with that? Yeah, that's a good point. I wish we had the answers to that. If we had thought about it, we'd have somebody who can kind of speak to that.
Mm-hmm. I guess not enough business credit because we're too small. We're under small businesses.
Right. Dude, you didn't have the right paperwork, you know,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah,
Now, let's go ahead and be honest. We do also know that just some folk out there just scheming the system.
Oh,
yeah.
of
You
course.
know, their whole books was just lies.
Of course.
Just to get the loan.
yeah.
So, I mean, you do have that other side of it, unfortunately, that I don't think that people that were even doing that understand the impact that that does have on true small businesses.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like you're taking money that you don't necessarily need from businesses that actually need that money, and the fact that you are actually doing this dishonest act is actually hindering and hurting a lot of other small businesses because those funds are now not going to be available because you don't, some strange reason, got $100,000 and you out here doing who knows what.
And then they get on social media talking about apply for the PPP loan. I just got $50,000, but you don't own a business.
right. Yeah, and that's so unfortunate.
So, it looks like somebody want to say what they chest. Hold on. Let me make sure it is what it is. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
please, because I don't want nobody talking about, hey, Mr. Walker.
You supposed to be down here 2 hours ago.
So Kenya says a woman in Nashville was talked about on the Breakfast Club for that PP loan. She started a GoFundMe to pay the money back so she won't go to jail. Come on now, play.
All right, we got
I saw that. And
Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't know she's from
you
Nashville.
shouldn't have took the money.
And nobody should pay for it. I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry,
But the crazy thing is people were.
Yeah, they were.
They were like, go $5. I know it ain't gonna do nothing for you, but here you go.
But see, my problem is that $5 could have been paid to a small business that really needed it.
Yeah.
I go back to these businesses are feeding people's families.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right,
So you gave $5 to someone who defrauded the government, but you couldn't give $5 to your friend that opened up a small business.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
They got to double it too.
The
They got the money they didn't deserve.
Adult conversation. Some people not ready to have those real conversations.
Talk about really supporting your friends.
Okay, we got
talk about. We need to talk about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
We got Jimmy on the line. Jimmy, go ahead and say it with your chest.
Hey. First of all, I want to say everybody on the panel tonight is amazing. Great information.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Absolutely. And as far as those PPP loans, your boyfriend or girlfriend may have a bad memory and forget, but the IRS never forget. Coming back to get their money, one person at a time.
Right.
They're coming back to get their PPP money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And think that they won't, but they will. I'm saying it's two things you don't want in your life: the law and the IRS, the government.
Man.
You don't want them folk in your life. It ain't even worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Now,
Was it true? I don't know if you guys heard, but I know right before the end of March, I heard that Tennessee had a lot of money left over for small businesses, and it hadn't been tapped into. But you had to go and register for it before the 31st of March. Did y'all hear about that?
Mm-mm.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
A lot of it was, majority of that loan had to go to paying payroll. So I think that's one of those things that when we hear small business that people don't understand. So when they hear that PPP loan, it's like, oh, you got a business? Yeah, you can apply. But I think it's like 75% of that loan has to be applied to paying payroll. So if you are your payroll, that's one thing that people as a small business has to understand. Mm-hmm. You are payroll. Right. So you have to pay yourself. So even if you ain't got employees, you're supposed to be paying yourself back. So therefore, you can apply for such a loan.
But you have the record. You
have the records to show that you are paying yourself. Right. So that's just one of those things that I don't think people as a small business, especially when they're starting out, understand. It's like, oh no, you actually fall into this. You need to be cut payroll check to yourself and making sure you have the proper records and documentation to support it. So when things do come up, hey, it's not an issue.
Right.
And I think that's I'm sorry, Jahan.
Go ahead.
I think that's the problem with all these funny reels that's on Instagram that's put to this nice music, like open up like that's pointing all over the screen, and they're like, you know, get your small business loan, open up an EIN, do this, do that. You're not telling people what they actually need to do, which is why that a lot of that money in Tennessee was not tapped into, because you have to have a DUNS, you have to have a cage, you have to have you have to follow certain protocol. And the reason why you have to have a DUNS and a cage is the government is supposed to give to 3 businesses primarily the opportunity to bid on certain businesses that's minority, that's veterans, or women. So if you did sign up for those, but you didn't fall into the category of the protocols that was needed for your DUNS and your cage and your EIN to be all together, then of course you didn't qualify. So you have to make sure that you're ready to receive those blessings, and not just being like, oh, I'm gonna open up a car wash because they're giving away money for small businesses. They're gonna come back and tax every single dime that they gave you, because they don't see that it's being allocated correctly. So those little pointy Instagram videos and those little Clubhouse things, they're not business gurus. Like, I mean, they might be for themselves, but they're not giving you the full information on those 1-minute video reels that are so entertaining. You're like, ooh, I can go do that. So do your research first.
They make it look really easy. And the stuff that those Instagram business owner people are advertising, you can get from free from the Department of Labor in whatever state you live in.
Oh yeah.
No, you don't have to pay for that kind of stuff, you know. If you have a knowledge, share it. And if you don't, I'm telling you right now, I know when I wanted to start a business in Tennessee, I went to the Tennessee Department of Labor. They have a whole section for small businesses, and they give you everything you need, guides, reference materials, you know, where to go to apply for your EIN, all that stuff. You don't have to pay anybody for that information.
Nope, and they got it all online now. I mean, you can go out to tennessee.gov/revenue, and there's a whole plethora of links that will walk you through. Oh, you want to get your LLC? Here you go. Oh, you trying to get your EIN? Click right here. It's just people have to be willing to go out there to do the leg work and get the information. When I see those videos, I'm just like, people are just monetizing off of people's ignorance. It's like, I ain't selling you nothing that you can't already go get for free.
Pay $500 and I will complete your paperwork for your EIN. It's like, you do not realize it's not even worth $500.
No,
it's not. It's not. You can do it yourself.
And it takes like less than 5 minutes to do.
Yep.
You know? So yeah. So I have another question. Naysayers. When you were getting ready to start this, I know for me,
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I moved back to Nashville, and you know, I had a little money in my pocket or whatever, but I was going through a lot, and I was just figuring out what's my next step. So I wanted to open up a lounge, like a music lounge, like a bar and lounge, and I still want to, and I might one day. But I was telling my friends and family, this is what I want to do. And when I tell people laughed at me, like I was saying I was going to open up a White House. And that's kind of these people who were like, didn't have no problem supporting me when I got a new job on somebody's W-2. But now I want to pursue my dream of opening a bar. And every day I had one friend who called me, so how your bar coming? You know, so you open your bar yet? Dude, I've been home a whole week. You know, I ain't opened no bar yet. But people who have from what I found, they're not living their own dream. So they want to, piss on. Okay, is it something you guys can relate to? And if so, how do you handle your naysayers?
Well, Jahan, I'm going to tell you a mindset that was told to me that, I live to this day. It was told to me, you collect haters like baseball cards, and you make sure you collect as many as you can. Because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to bet on yourself, who else is gonna do it?
Yeah.
So as long as it's about being comfortable, it's about having self-confidence in yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. Not everybody's gonna be your friend. Not everybody's gonna pat you on the back. Not everybody's gonna support you. Yes, some people hang around you right now waiting to see you fail.
Oh, jeez.
Even though they say they are there to support you, no, they are supporting the idea of when you fall, I'm gonna be right there.
Yeah.
And it's the thing
I
of
wanna watch
if you are self-confident in yourself,
Mhm.
hey dude, you ain't gotta be here for me. You ain't gotta sit here and come pat me on the back. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Right.
As long as hey, I'm right with the one upstairs and my family love me,
Mhm.
dude, I don't care what you think.
Right.
So if you gonna hate, I'll put you in my little notebook and I'll collect you with
I
the rest
pray
of
for
it.
you.
And
Mhm.
there it
Right.
is.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
right. Cat Williams said, if you a woman and you got 9 haters, you need to be figuring out before the morning how to get to 10.
Come on
There
now.
it is.
Because
Yeah.
what are we complaining about when they doing their job? That's what they're
Mhm.
there for. And it's
Yeah.
Lovey is a journalist, a blogger, professional blogger, and she's a beast. And Jahan, she said some people will take your elevation as a personal affront to them. And so you will offend people simply by reaching for your goals. Period.
Mhm.
You don't have to do anything but say, I think I would like to do this. And it becomes a mirror to perhaps their own secret inadequacies that they might have, that they didn't follow a certain dream or they didn't go a certain path. And you will become a representation of what they are not doing. And
Yeah.
so some people I also know this. Sometimes to keep your dream alive, you have to keep it secret until it materializes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also know that too. Sometimes you actually have to, what did Lil Wayne say? Real G's move in silence. Like
Yeah.
like sometimes
Yeah.
you have to get the deed first and the keys and the
Mhm.
lights on and the floor down before you tell people I moved. Because when you
Right.
tell
Yep.
people you bought
Absolutely.
land, they're gonna go, oh, that's small. I mean, it's cool, but so
Right.
you can't throw your pearls to swine. And not to call, I'm using it as a figure of speech. I think that all of us mean well. I just think that we all sometimes approach things from our own history and from
Yeah.
our own inability to reach certain goals.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
something my mom would always say: do not throw your pearls to swine. Quit giving these people your good stuff. You know? So, yeah, you give them your good stuff. You can't share everything with everybody. You know?
One of
No, and the biggest thing I always say is, man, let your work speak for you.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gotta address Jack.
Absolutely.
yeah.
You don't owe nobody an explanation on why you chose to do whatever. Just
Yeah.
let your work speak. And as long as your work speaking and you happy,
Mm-hmm.
hey, it is what it is.
Right.
I think people come at certain folks thinking that they're owed an explanation. And it's like, dude, you live your life, I live mine. You have your beliefs, I have mine. I
Mm-hmm.
may be doing something that's outside the norm to you.
Yeah.
That does not mean it's outside the norm for me.
Right.
So just because it's not your cup of tea, it is what it is.
Right.
And the people have to understand they're not owed anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you're my friend and I owe you something because you're my friend, then you're really not my friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why do I have to owe you an explanation for my actions that I'm taking for me?
Yeah.
I think that's a misconception that I think people don't tend to look at.
Yeah. I think just saying the small entrepreneur things that we've done, we've noticed. Well, I've noticed a lot of people are okay with you doing well as long as you're not doing better than them.
Yes.
So then
True.
you kind of, like, I'm gonna cheer you on, but wait a minute, you're doing too good now. Wait a minute, you're getting too much attention. Wait a minute, hold up.
That's right.
I got a podcast for real. Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah. So it's
And
like, go ahead. It's like, then you gotta figure out, well, are you my friend? Or are you my associate? Or are you my hater?
Mm-hmm.
Can I add you, make you my number 10 hater for a day? Like, And then, like, what do you do with that? 'Cause I struggle with that. It's like, well, I thought that was my friend. I thought that person really supported me. But then when they see that they don't, what do you do with that?
Hey, you accept them for who they are, you pray for them, and you move on.
Yeah.
I think for me, even when I wrote this calendar, a lot of people are writing books right now, which are fine. So I went to a couple of people, a couple of people are like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my vision. This is this.
Mhm.
I want to bring this baby to life. And people were like, a calendar? No, they're not going to read a
Mm.
calendar. You need to just put your thoughts in a book.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why are you tearing me down? I see the vision.
Right.
I know my vision.
Right.
I know when you tell me no, I'm going to go around and I'm going to show you, yes, I can do it.
Mhm.
So these 7 years that I wrote this calendar, people are like, oh my gosh, when they saw me birth this baby,
Mhm.
they're just shocked.
Mhm.
Because this no, you supposed to be writing a book, but I told you my vision. You love
Right.
me. So if I would have not listened to my inner and my God
Mhm.
and just wrote a book like everybody else wanted me to do, I probably would have been just swept up under the rug, and I wouldn't have been as creative and
Mhm.
successful as I am now in 366 makeup tips of a woman because of what
Mhm.
everybody else wanted me to do.
Right.
Versus I had to stick to my vision. I had to stick to my goals. I had to stick to my purpose. Because at the end of the day, when you stick to that, God is going to take you the rest of the way. Period.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. I think also sometimes we are speaking to an audience, and I had to say this out of respect. We are speaking to an audience that we have elevated from. And you keep on
Right.
trying to talk to people who are
Yeah.
not on your level. And so
Mm.
you keep on trying to keep it real, and you keep on, well, I'm going to give it to my homeboys first. They
Mhm.
can't hear you because they're too
Yeah.
busy connecting you to everything around them that holds them back. And so what
Right.
I've learned is that I've
Mhm.
approached some people to write articles for them, and just straight up, like, out of respect, just they may have been too busy or they just haven't gotten back to me. It's funny because the confidence that I got from approaching people and asking them about like what they'd be interested in my service, I actually had to go up a little bit. And that's how I was able to get Desi Alexander. And what's so funny
Mhm.
about somebody like Desi Alexander, he didn't have to respond to me. He didn't have
Right.
to be like, yes, I'll write. Yeah, I would let you write for me. I mean, he sent me back my questions that I asked him in like 2 days. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow, my pitch actually works. It may not
Mhm.
work in the people that I see every day, but I have to go higher because
Mhm.
Yep.
sometimes your service and what you have to offer is not going to fit the people on the level that you think you're supposed to be on. You got to go higher. And it's
Yeah.
okay to do that. It's okay
Yeah.
to do that.
That's a word right there. King
I
had
like
put it in
that.
Bible, giving a word, giving a whole word,
Mhm.
a whole bunch of gems on everybody. Much appreciated.
Shout out to my kinfolk, Aaron. I see you, Mr. DOD. The TMT family is in the house. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you've been trying to get that shot.
I've been
in.
trying to get Hey,
I
Aaron, my
know
man, 50
family.
grand. Aaron is my man, 50 grand. Do you hear me?
Yeah. So I guess my next question would be, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but the importance of supporters. You know, we talked about supporting your spouse as an entrepreneur, but talk to us a little bit about the importance of having, you know, sometimes it not be your family and friends or people outside of your inner circle getting their support. And has any of that helped your businesses at all?
Well, it's definitely helped mine quite a bit. It I've I have been fortunate to meet a lot of great people through the organizations that I'm a part of. And when I can sit here and say that Frat from Phi Beta Sigma, my Masonic brothers from Prince Hall Masons out of Nashville District, I mean, when I say they have all supported in multiple ways, whether it's words of encouragement, whether it's coming out monetary purchasing items, whether it's hiring me to perform services, whether it's just sharing a link, commenting on a profile. I don't think people understand, especially with social media, how these algorithms work. So the
Mm-hmm.
more things that get a love, a share, those are the things that's going to show up more and more and more, and it's going to broaden your reach outside of your normal small circle and network that you have.
And our family supported
Exactly.
too.
So just between orgs and family coming out, always liking, always sharing, always commenting, I mean, that support has helped my business. I mean, I've actually garnered relationships with other businesses indirectly from support from friends and family, from just through word of mouth or just people sharing a photo. Because I've had people say, "Oh yeah, man, one of my friends shared something that you did, and I like what you done, so I was wanting to reach out. Could you do something for my business? I'm needing to get some uniforms made. Can you do that type of work? Or hey, I saw you did X. I need that done at my residence or at my business." But all of that genuinely stemmed from support from friends and family who just shared a picture or they just made a comment. And it's like, I don't think sometimes people, they hear support, they automatically think monetarily. But it's like, sometimes, dude, I just need you to share it. I just need you to like it. If somebody asks the question, just refer me, just throw my name out there. And hey, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. But if you can just shoot the shot for me when I'm not able to see that I need to shoot the shot, that'll go a long way.
Yeah, much appreciated.
I'm sorry. How you gonna be mad at me? This is a part of the. I'm not getting off subject.
Yes,
I just want to tell a small story. I just want to tell a small. I'm so inspired to tell this story. It's a true story, Jonas. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of correct me, but this is how I remember it happened, because I want to tell this is the honest truth. Because I'm listening to John talk, and to be honest with y'all, I got hit with the double whammy. I'm gonna tell you what happened. We was trying to get the kitchen done. We was in Nashville, and I noticed that Jonas does work. I said, "Oh man, he do good work." So Jonas gave me a quote. So just for the sake of numbers, let's say it was $250 to do our backsplash. And here's the thing, I said, Jonas, I got all the backsplash, and I asked him, does he have the glue? And he was like, oh yeah, I got the glue. I said, but I got glue too. And he was like, yeah, but I can use yours, you can use mine. So I said, okay, let me holler at you, Jonas. I'll call you back.
He's gonna embarrass me.
No, I'm not finna embarrass you. I said, Jahan, I got the glue. Maybe Jonas could knock it down to $200. Why would you do that? I said, because I paid $50 for the glue, but his price is $250. Pay that man what he asked for, because you ain't finna do it. Because I'm the one that bought all the stuff, and we've been sitting on it for about 3 months.
Yeah. See,
but then Jonas came and did the job so well. I felt so bad thinking that I was going to even ask for him to do it less for what he asked for. And I want to say I evened it out and just gave him a little bit over more than what he asked. I want to say
You did.
Okay, I was like, man, he did twice the job.
Yeah.
In presentation, professionalism, he got done with it. He had his own tools. He didn't make no mess. I was like, hey, by the way, we thought about bringing you to Georgia to do some work. I'm sorry, I just had to get that out. Seriously. Seriously.
But I have to kind of, I'm that person in the house, I got right now a shoe closet that's half done because Jonathan, I'm gonna get to it. And like if I had the time, I'll go bring these shelves out to show y'all. I know I'm not lying. So I'm like, and then I usually what gets him moving. So I'm gonna call somebody come do this. I'm gonna do it, and he'll bring his tool bag upstairs. His tool bag, we broadcast my bedroom, y'all. His tool bag is right here against that wall, and has been there. I know. For months. Now I'm gonna call somebody to come finish my shoe closet. They gonna give me a quote that Jonathan is not gonna like, but guess what? I'm gonna pay it.
You go pay
He could do it if he can't do it, but if he was gonna do it, it would have been done. We've been in this house almost 3 years now.
That's fine, yes, ma'am.
My shoe closet's been half finished for 2 years because he gonna do it for Christmas. He put like some shelves up for Christmas. I asked him to do it.
John, we got off on it.
No, you started. My point is, whenever we the grass, moving this house, and I had a landscaping company to come, a service to come cut our grass.
I ain't ready for that grass.
So I done paid. We call him Mr. Love. I paid Mr. Love 3 times 60. I think he charged me 50. I paid him 60.
Okay,
I'm like, we're gonna quit giving this man his money. I could do this. I cut the grass myself. So we go out to Lowe's and we buy a lawnmower. And Jonathan got halfway through that yard and we packed that lawnmower right back up, right back to Lowe's. And Mr. Love comes every 2 weeks.
Let me tell you something. Hey, hitting that grass in 2020 compared to how it was in 99.
Yeah.
Nah,
It's
I
inflation.
do it like that. Nah. And you know what? I call myself getting the one with the bag that pick up the grass clippings, and we gonna have it all manicured. Man, you go through the thing one time and back.
And you got to empty the bag.
Yeah.
No. I did it 5 times, and I looked at. I said, "Man, I know I wasn't even halfway done with the front." I said, "You know what, John? Get that man that money."
Yeah.
Get that man.
And whatever he charged, we're gonna pay him. So that's why
I learned my lesson twice.
For me, watching what Jonathan goes through is why I don't mess with nobody when it comes to their prices. You know what I'm saying? Because I would get mad watching people finagle him with prices, and you know how you feel about that. Yeah. So just don't do nobody else like that.
My bad, y'all. I had to get off and tell it. That's the truth. John is very professional, does great work, and I felt like he gave me a darn good price. And the little extra I paid still wasn't enough compared to the great job he did. And it's still up, by the way.
When we sold the house, the people who bought the house renovated the house, and they left that backsplash up.
Yeah, did everything else
they changed everything else and left that backsplash up. Yeah, because I was kind of like, everything that we did is gone, but you look pictures of stock pictures, like that backsplash still there. So it was awesome. But and I even with Corel, how most people you order stuff offline and your stuff don't come for 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes she would have put that thing in the mail before I even cashed out her the money. So for me, there's this misconception that when you work with Black businesses, they slow, they don't get you what you need in time. And I think from the past few years, I can say for sure that that's not the case with most vendors. You get your stuff, it's the quality you expect it to be, and you get in a reasonable time. But when it's not, we ready to cut out all Black businesses. That's so unfair. Especially when you're working with small businesses, because again, you got vendors who are the production crew, they're the shipping department, they payroll, they AP, they all of that. So if your stuff can go in the mail the next day, you can't just assume it's because they're lazy or they're not doing what you ask them to do. They putting the work in and get you what you need, so you're not complaining on the back end. So with you guys, what are some of the biggest misconceptions? I
just want to say real quick, Broderick, call in. I see you posting infomercials. Call in and say it with your chest. You got my number, Broderick. Look at Broderick posting infomercials. Got the moving company. Hey, come on and call in, man. Let everybody know what you're doing with your moving company. Okay, go ahead.
Disclaimer: we are live, and every week I send Jonathan and everybody else a nice little agenda with how our program is going to go.
It's right here. You see where I got it from?
Today, I put it in his.
Reached it up. It was on the floor.
I said he's gonna look at it today.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay.
I put it on his computer last week. He moved it off his computer and put it on the floor. I put it in his chair today.
It's nice.
I don't even think he even looked at it. You saw where he picked it up from. And he acts so surprised when I give him information. Are we doing that today? Yeah, player.
Jahan, that's what makes the balance. That's the balance of life.
Okay.
That's the balance of life.
Back to my question. What will you guys say is the biggest misconception with being a small business owner?
You have all the time to do whatever you feel like. People think you a small bit. You want your own clock? Oh, you want to push my. Oh, well, hey, can you go pick up such and such for me? Hey, such and such coming into town, and they need somebody to take them around. Bruh, I got orders. I got things I got to do. And I think that's a misconception people just have. They just think since you are a business owner, you just kind of run and do whatever you feel like doing, not taking into account that you actually have things that you need to do for your business. Like, yeah, man, I'll have free time from 11 to 1, but yeah, every time before that and everything after 1 o'clock, dude, I'm busy until like midnight.
Right.
So it's the thing of people not understanding when you work for yourself, in some instances, you work even more than what you would working for someone else. So you see the product You see the stand up and the appeal, but what you're not seeing are those sleepless nights. What you're not seeing is you sleeping on the couch and your spouse is in the bed because guess what? You fell asleep on the couch while you was in the middle of making something.
Right.
They're not seeing that sacrifice of, hey man, I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. Oh, you know what? We still got kids that need to go to school and need to eat. So we need to take care of that. Oh, we got laundry.
Yeah.
So you still have life.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think people take that into consideration, thinking, oh, you work for yourself. Oh, well, you can just fit that in when you do this, not understanding, no, really, I can't. When I'm doing this for the business, this is the business. It comes, that's that professionalism. That's that service piece that you speak of, because when you talk to your customers and your clientele, you want to give them the utmost respect and give them the best service and quality possible.
Right.
So there is stuff that goes with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I think.
oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Barbie.
I think one of the misconceptions that I've had since I started is that somehow I have like this tree of unlimited money. And so here's the thing. Let me just say, I still work 9 to 5. I work full time. I'm also in school, and then I write articles for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And so,
and you're a mama.
And I'm a mother. And so what I learned is that as much time as I'm going to put into the company that has hired me to do a job, I'm going to put that much time into myself. Now I heard someone say that that's not balanced, but here's the thing. And I understand that, but I will if I'm working from home, I will sit at my desk for the company I work for from 7:30 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I will still sit there from 5 o'clock to like whenever, maybe a break or two in between, because I feel like I don't want to put more into someone else's dream that I don't put into my talent, into my art form, into my creativity, because I deserve that much also. And the time that I put into my creativity, I may not be getting paid monetarily for it, but I am getting paid because I'm building something. So you have to have faith and vision into what you want, because everybody's not going to understand why you put so much time in it, because they don't see what's tangible. They don't see that they need to touch, feel, see, oh, you ain't riding around in big cars wearing nice clothes. But I'm putting in the work, and I know that it will manifest itself in due time. Right. So the misconception is that if you have a small business, you automatically have this huge amount of money, and that's not the case, because you're literally betting on yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think one that I see and saw a lot over my years is that think you're open 24 hours a day. There's no cutoff. There is a cutoff. This is a real business. I'm not going to talk to you Sunday night at 10 o'clock if you want your makeup or hair done because you want to come in tomorrow. I'm not doing that. Yeah. You can't call Supercuts at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night and say, hey, can you cut my hair in the morning? No. You need to respect my business hours, respect my business like you would do anybody else's. Right. I think that's a huge misconception. Huge. Yeah.
And to me,
and Jonathan, what Barbie was speaking to, I mean, that kind of states back to what you talked about earlier in generational wealth. When you're building something, my thing is, if I'm the first cog that starts that generational wealth, then let me be that first cog. I may not see the end of the race, but I damn sure gonna make sure we gonna start that damn race. So as long as I can build something up and then I can pass it to my kids, or I can pass it to somebody in my family, then hey, I'm good with that. And I think that's something that we as a people kind of have to start shifting our thought process around. It's like, you may not be here to see the end. You may not. You may literally just be that first step in a marathon of steps.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to take those steps, and just make sure that you're consistent in your actions.
Right.
Because as long as you continue to be consistent, God will reward you with that. It's having that faith.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of, I don't look at things from a day or a week perspective. I'm looking at stuff in a month. Hey man, what this month looking like?
Right.
Can this month be better than last month? Can this quarter be better than last quarter?
Right.
Because it's just that thought process change of you're working for somebody and you like, yeah, I worked this many hours a day. I made this much today. Where from a business owner, you're like, hey man, these are the goals. What we looking like for the month? Because my goal is I'm trying to hit this for the month. And if I do that, I'm good. If not, then how can I make it up next month?
Right.
So it's really just looking at those things. So when Barbie is definitely speaking to putting in that time for your craft and your creative side, you are getting payment. It may not be tangible, it may not be instant, but you don't know what those seeds that you're planting today are going to grow into 5, 2, 3, 10, 20 years down the road.
Yeah. That reminds me that faith without works is dead. You know, God got a plan for you, but you got to put in the work to make sure that it manifests. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's where a lot of us fail at, is that consistency. It's doing it over and over again. It's making sure I got the reports. I've got, you know, I'm adding inventory. I'm, you know, working my hours the way I say I'm gonna, you know, work them. If I've got this appointment that I'm here when I'm supposed to be here, and not 2 hours later saying, you know, oh, my bad, you know, I'm late. Like, it's the consistency that builds your brand, that builds your business, and over the years gets that reputation to where people want to keep coming to you no matter what your business is.
Yeah.
It's funny when Barbie was saying, you know, y'all saying working hard, and when you work hard and you don't get that monetary gain, no lie. Weiss Creek was playing Perico in this basketball game. This is way before I got to the point where I am now. I was just still out here as a DJ trying to make a name for myself. They was gonna pay a radio DJ, I won't say his name, $500. I told them, Carlos Watkins and Miss First Lady Samantha Watkins and Jessica Sterling. I told them I'll do it for free. Please just give me the opportunity to be seen. My family was like, "Are you crazy? You gonna sit up?" Family and friends, are you crazy? You gonna sit up here and do it for free, and they gonna pay him $500? You can at least get $250. I said, it ain't about that. This is an investment in myself. The payment is coming soon. Then on top of that, I spent $1,000 of my own money to get the equipment just so I can have it in there and be loud.
Hey.
And it paid off because the next day, Reggie hit me up about doing donks, and I've been Fat Max since then.
Hey,
It is.
And maybe Carmen, I think Carmen might know this, but like when we first moved to Nashville, I think I was 4, and we lived off of Clarksville Highway. And now I'm going to tell my age and whatever, but we lived off of Clarksville
Younger
Highway.
than all of us.
And yes, ma'am. And it was across the street from a buy right store. And KFC was in that parking lot right across the street from the YMCA before Bert came over there. So my father was working full time with my mom at JCPenney Telemarketing Center all the way in South Nashville. And my father started to clean buy right stores. You know what he bartered his work for? Groceries for 6 kids.
Wow.
He cleaned and waxed buy right stores for groceries to feed a family of 8 right across the street, because we live right across the street. I think it's a car lot now. It was like a duplex. Yeah. But anyway, it was the store that came from Antioch that said, "Who cleans your floors?" And then he took off. Then we started cleaning post offices. We actually got JCPenney Telemarketing Center that he used to work there. He started cleaning for them, and we had that contract for 10 years. My father and my mom, I've never been married, but I will say this. To watch my mom and my dad build a business from bartering for groceries to what it became when I was in high school, they had a vision and they were able to see it together. So the person that you're with, whether it's friends or mates, they got to be able to see what you see, even if they can't touch it, see it, or smell it. So you
Mhm.
got to have people around you that can see your vision and see your potential and rock with you. And sometimes you
Yeah.
do barter your services for the
Yeah.
for the uh for the expansion, because that alone comes into building your brand. So only
Yeah.
people that have business minds can give you the go ahead to do that. And the people who can't just want the money and they're paid in full. And we all know what happened with that
Mhm.
movie. So therefore,
Right.
rest my
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. No, and that's a big deal too, because sometimes y'all, we Jonathan and I, when we were practicing our little, banter and all that, trying to get our podcast together, we had kind of talked about on that a little bit too. Jonathan would get an idea, and me being the wife that I am, sometimes I gotta just let him get work that thing out, and I gotta encourage him through it, because you just never know. But usually when he has a vision and he puts his mind to it and we see it through, it works out. But sometimes I gotta coach him through some of that vision because it be cloudy sometimes. I don't know. But you
Right.
want to be able to support, your spouse or your partner and everything they do with some guidance.
Mhm.
But, that's a really good point. You can't be with people who just out here not believing in nothing you want to do.
Well,
And
speaking of
some,
business, I want to let Nike get her last words in because she got some business to attend
Oh
to,
yeah.
and she about to, dip out. Go ahead, Nike. Anything you want to say with the
I'm
chick?
just enjoying the conversation at this point, and that you guys, the walkers, just make me laugh every time I'm on here, and it's just such a joy and a blessing to be on here and looking at where we were back almost. Don't want to say my age. I'm about 20 years ago in high school, and to now. You guys are a power couple. You are strength. You are courage, and I look up to you guys.
Oh,
And I
Thank
love it, and I love what you're
thank
doing.
you.
I love
you.
Thank you
what you're
so
doing.
much. Girl, we trying. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
You have a great evening. Thank you. We really
Too.
enjoy
Good
having
night,
you on as
everybody.
well.
Good
All
night.
right. Good night.
Wonderful.
Okay. And
what
so,
you gonna say?
yeah, Cora, go ahead.
Oh, about the vision in your spouse. Sometimes you might not even see the vision, and you just have to trust your spouse.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, that's true.
That sometimes you don't see it, and you just have to go with it, and then hope that later you catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, been there, done that too.
Yeah. 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 No, we do that often. It's like, okay, so
Hey man, but it's beautiful when you got your bonnet to your Clyde and your Clyde to your bonnet.
yeah,
It's like, hey man, it's like what we gonna do? I don't know, but we gonna do it together,
mhm,
and we gonna go down swinging, and we going
yeah,
down.
yeah,
So
that's the
it's like
mindset.
it's like we gonna try it. It's like, well, what about this? I don't know. Let's try it.
Mm-hmm.
What if it don't work? So then we'll try something else.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter, but
Mm-hmm.
let's shoot the shot.
Yeah.
Because what the thing say is, and what you don't want to do is come back in life and have the regret of, man, you remember that time we talked about opening or doing such and such, and we never did it. I wonder what it would have been like.
What is?
That's one of my biggest fears that I have in life is I don't never want to go back and look and say, man, I wish I had a done. I
Mm,
would rather be able to say, hey man, I shot the shot. It didn't pan out, but hey, I learned a whole bunch from shooting that shot.
yeah.
So if nothing else, if don't anybody take any viewer take anything out of this, if you don't take anything else, take the stance of whatever your dream or your vision and your goal is, shoot your shot
Yeah.
because it'll never happen if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You got to put in that work, and you got to be willing to take that first step out there to make it a reality.
Mm.
So if you got a dream and you on that fence about it, guess what? Shoot your shot.
Yeah. Because you never know. That's one thing you don't want to go through life, with what if, because then that builds resentment and everything else. Like,
Mhm.
with, my partner, he has an idea and I don't quite see it, or something he want to do, and I'm kind of like, I'm not really sure. I trust his vision, and whatever you want to do, I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do it. How do you feel? What do you think? And if you
Yep.
if you trust in
Yep.
that, then do it. Don't ever let me be the one to stop you from doing what it is you want to do just because I don't get it in the moment. And so, and I got it. Sometimes that's in pushing and encouraging him because he's
Yep.
kind of like, I don't know, maybe it won't work. I don't know. No, if God put that in your head, then let it happen. And you figure it out, you work it out. Just because it doesn't come easy doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Exactly.
Sometimes put the work in and not succeed. I don't want to say fail, but it not work out how you wanted to work. You learn from that and you keep on pushing.
Yep.
Yep.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So, I know, trust me, I've been there like, oh, okay. What this gonna turn out? In my head, I may be thinking that, but on the outside, I'm loading up, I'm riding with you, we're gonna make this thing happen.
All
And
right.
you're right. The whole time you're wondering, like, okay, how's it gonna turn out?
That reminds me of that TikTok thing
Okay.
that said, if your husband come home and say he want to be an astronaut, make him a sandwich and make him sew his astronaut suit up.
Right.
When you get a break on the moon.
Hey,
All right there, baby.
Right.
that's
Be like,
what
honey,
you
let me go to Amazon and figure out how to order you some food. Like,
Astronaut suits. Let's see.
look, some astronaut food.
I'm big and tall.
Let me Google this real quick.
Let me Google it. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's talk this out. How do we plan on doing this? And it generally it does. He'll come up with something and it works out. We talk it out or whatever. I am a very I have to write it down. I have to see it. And so I've just learned that I just trust him. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? We going to the moon? Let me go to Amazon.
Yeah.
Figure out what I need.
Now, when we get to the moon, what you gonna need? Do you know?
Nope.
You figuring all that stuff.
We'll figure that out when we get there.
You need a
Yeah.
visionary. You need a visionary and a strategist. If
Yeah.
you got them two,
You good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Visionary strategist.
Right.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I got a question for the panel. It's a red pill, blue pill panel. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take the red pill if it allows you to go back to the age of 10 years old and know everything that you know now? Or would you take the blue pill and have $30 million and be 50 years old? Starting with
That's a sucky
Barbie.
10 years old, but I have all the knowledge I have now. 50 years old with $30 million in my pocket. Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is this from a
I'm
business
trying to
perspective
answer
or
this
personal
as-
growth perspective?
I'm trying to
Oh,
answer
really?
it as philosophical as I can because I believe in butterfly effect. So even if I went back 10 years, but then you're saying if I had $30 million, but then I would be almost 10 years older, that's time, and time is valuable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would probably do 10 years old and knowing what I know now. Because money and value will come. And, and from the choices that I'm able to make, I can make better choices be strategic about what I'm doing in my life, which will bring value. $30 million and 50 years old, nah, I wouldn't choose that. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. What about you, Corel?
I would be 10 years old because that 30 million, I might die tomorrow. I'm capped. At 10 years old, if I know all the things that are going to play out, I'm creating Facebook first. I'm creating Instagram first. I'm not, that 30 million, I'm not even worried about it because I'm about to have 300 billion or, 300 million. So I'm going to be 10 years old.
Just give it to a pioneer of a woman at the age of 10
Yeah.
who created Facebook in 1990.
Because I'm coming for Apple. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's the thing. I spoke on it earlier. Time is the most valuable asset that any of us have. So you telling me that I'm going to be 10 years old and I know So I essentially get 30 years back.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I know everything I already know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm good. Because see, at that point, I'm gonna graduate high school at 12. I'm gonna test out. I'm gonna go ahead and get my degrees by the time I'm 15. Because I know all this already. And yeah, I'm just gonna be a serial entrepreneur and have like multiple businesses. So that 30 million that you go give me, like to Krell's point, hey, I'm gonna blow that out. I'm gonna dwarf that in income over the years. But then not only that, think about the impact that you could have and the choices that you can make from the knowledge that you have. That's the biggest thing that I look at. Because the reason I asked you earlier, Jonathan, is that from a business or a personal perspective, my biggest thing is not losing the experiences that I had. Because your experiences are who make you who you are. So that's the piece that I'm like, I wouldn't want to give up the knowledge and the lessons learned from those experiences, because that is the reason I am who I am. That is the reason, I'm here. So
when I present that question, I'll make sure I mention that experience of life.
You
Yeah,
get all that
I see what you're saying. Because I was thinking I go back to 10, but I got to make sure Jahan my wife. Because I know,
exactly, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey,
I know she's here no matter what.
Yeah.
She ain't for the money. It ain't because I met her with the Maserati and the 100K in my pocket or whatever.
Yeah, no, and I think because I knew you meant that, because that's what I was thinking. I'm going back to 10 years old with everything that I know now. What I know now, I gained from my life experiences.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot of bullets in my dodge. I don't know who to go out with, who not to go out, because I'm coming back up now as mini Jahan. Because for me, I've never wanted to be a millionaire. I always wanted to be comfortable. I always wanted to be able to have what I have and take care of myself and my family. So $30 million, of course, I would not turn it down, but it's not the end game for me.
Exactly.
So for me, I think being happy with life is more important. I want my job, even if I'm working for myself or working, on somebody's W-2, am I fulfilled? Is it purpose driven? All of that is what I would want to make sure that I manifest for, the new 41-year-old Jahan. Going back to 10 and coming back up to the day, I want to make sure that I made the proper steps to make sure my life is fulfilled. Because even with career choice, it's not just doing stuff because it's a good paycheck. I would focus on, does this fulfill me? Is this purpose driven? Like, is this benefiting somebody? That's what I would focus on.
I got a trivia question too.
Okay.
Okay, I saw posting in the post. Miss Porter said Apple, Google, Facebook, MySpace. So remember all these websites. Am I wrong? But wasn't this website that I'm fixing to mention was like one of the first websites that was way before their time and does not get credit, unlike a Facebook or MySpace? But do y'all remember Black Planet?
I knew you were going to say that.
Hold on now. That's the first Facebook.
I would probably make Black
Planet. And we made it.
Less creepy.
But we made it.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Black Planet was like the Fountain Square Nashville.
Yeah.
Great idea, but before its time. If Fountain Square was around in its original state today,
she said,
I'd make all kind of money.
Yeah,
I knew I was finna mention that Black Planet. She put that Black Planet.
No, you're right. I think if I could go back, and I didn't think about Black Planet, but I would make sure Black Planet would still be
relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could have been bigger than Facebook.
Maybe we need to put our money together and bring it back.
People made it too nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Black Planet almost became Tinder unrated.
After dark,
Black Planet after dark.
Yeah, people send you a request, and they start following each other. Next thing you know, you open your inbox, it's a dick pic in your box.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, now this ain't what I signed up for. This is not. I was looking for a nice, wholesome church guy. Your profile lied.
Okay.
Yeah, you wasn't gonna find it on Black
No,
Planet.
some people. That's what they were looking for. They were looking to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Now, I think a site called Plenty of Fish kind of lets me know this is not going to be the man I marry. But
Plenty
Black
of
Planet,
fish,
yeah.
man.
But Black Planet, you kind of think, well, we black people, we're looking for another black person. You just not ready for the dick pics.
Planet was before its time.
I guess.
It was.
I guess. So we had a couple of comments in here. I don't, did we go over them? We had a comment from Vincent who said, I found it difficult to price myself well for our community because of what you said. Oh, he was responding to somebody else. Respect for your trade is of import. And I think sometimes we value work of people who look like us less over others. So he was saying, like, I guess when we're talking about black businesses, supporting black businesses, we feel like if it's coming from someone who looks like us, we're not going to get the same quality of, service. And I think that's so not true. I found it to be not true.
It's unfortunate because I think like it goes into our mentality of how we were able to survive, which was by borrow. I give you a cup of sugar for, a couple, spoonfuls of flour. I'll give you these old dress shoes for some stockings. So we were raised in or grew up in this mentality of, tit for tat. And I think that's how we also come to our reputable business people in this tit for tat mode. And I just think it's time for us to elevate ourselves out of that thinking and respect each other as reputable business people.
Yeah.
But then here's another thing though. But so you can still do the tit for tat, but if it's a service that I need, if I go to Barbie and ask her to write me, something, I'm going to pay full price though. And if she decides that she wants to, you know what? I need some jewelry. I'm going to call Correll's Cameos. Or if I need some shirts, I'm going to call Jonas, but she's going to pay full price. There's nothing wrong with saying, I want to support.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, not ask for that discount because she knows, we know, we all know, we're small businesses. We're trying to feed families and whatnot. But there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, if I need an article, I'm going to my girl down here. I'm not going to go anybody else, and I'm going to pay full price. There's not, and to me, that's considered tit for tat. I am going to go, I need makeup. I'm going to go to one of my friends. I'm going to go to their website and I'm going to order. I'm not going to ask them to give me, a discount. I need the makeup. I'm going to pay for it. If they want some jewelry, they're going to come to my website or they're going to message me or whatever. And they're going to say, hey, I need this, or they're going to place an order. And I think we forget about that you're still supporting a business. You're still doing the tit for tat. You're just paying for those services.
Yeah. I find myself, I start with small businesses before I go to bigger companies now for that reason. Because one is people start there. Why would I go and we were joking about shirts, getting shirts made. Jonathan is like, just order them from Vistaprint. It was like, well, we know too many people who make shirts. Why would I go to Vistaprint? I'm going to get them from somebody who I know can get them to us.
Our hearts are like beating at one because as I'm sitting here clicking, I say, "Can Jonas do these shirts? Can I just go ahead and get that?"
Jonathan wanted to order them things off Vistaprint. You need to stop.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, right now.
Well, because we ain't got none.
Yeah,
we trying to get some.
Well, but
we trying.
They come, man, Jonathan.
But we ain't got none. Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying. We can have more than one.
We can have more than one. Yeah.
We'll probably be wearing Jonas's first, though. Jonas, which one is serious?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I ordered shirts for my own husband. Like, hey, I need some shirts. He sent me an invoice.
Yeah.
My invoice. I'm just saying.
I like it.
Because I think, trying to support everybody. Because I think, even with buying paparazzi, I think all my Sarah are selling paparazzi now. And so I get it's just coming like 15 pages coming. It's, You want to be able to like instead that's 5 plus shipping going like out 60 different people. You know?
They get expensive.
It gets expensive, but I will say this, like, you know, when I got this, I got that in the gold and the silver because she follows her group. She does a great job for her. She goes live. If I miss the live, I see it later and I'm chatting in there. Can I get that? Boom, 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 boom. And so I get in the mail. And I'm really, if you open my closet, it looks like I work at Macy's somewhere because there's stuff just dangling everywhere. And if it break, I just reorder it because it cost me $5.
Okay, so I zoomed in on the couple here because I just realized they wearing their shirts.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course.
Now, I'm saying this as a credit. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. So unfortunately, and this is my opinion, you know how when some people get shirts made, they don't look professional, look like a cartoon, look kind of handmade, like kitty.
Look like I went to
Like
Michael's and got the film and I ironed them on.
Hey, I saw Jones went to Burlington and got that, and I got to look. I said, hold on. Somebody said the J2 collection. I said, wait a minute, he got on the J2? What's that J2 doing? And then when I saw Hustle, I said, that's Jonas talking. I like it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they look really good. They look good on camera. I'm going to give me one.
Yeah. With a Vanderbilt hat. Get it? Because the black and the...
No.
Okay. But I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Get that. Yeah.
No, just get your hat, get your shirt made.
I like
with your DJ
it.
Fat Mac. I've been telling Jonathan to
I want to get the J2 collection too.
Okay. I've been telling him to get those. We got pole action t-shirts. I know since we've been dating. Since we've been together. You should have been done that. But...
Well, when it was cool to have pole action, I sure messed it up.
Yeah.
Hey, now you talking about making mistakes, not capitalizing. When you hot or not expanding out, thinking because you used to so much negativity. You know what I'm saying? What you doing shirts for? You can't hear that. What you doing that for? And you know, unfortunately, sometimes the person who you grew up getting advice for sometimes grow out of being able to give you advice.
Yeah. True. Yeah. I think that's one thing I would my 10-year-old person is don't look for anybody else to validate you. Validate yourself. I think we kind of touched on that earlier. You don't need, quit sharing your ideas. If you got ideas to, launch a t-shirt, you don't have to share that with everybody. Everybody don't have to know about it. Just do it. And they find out when that stuff hit the website, which I would have invented. 10-year-old Jahan would have invented the website. It wouldn't have been Apple's internet. It'd been Jahan Walker's internet.
Dang.
Oh no, Jahan internet.
Jimmy said Brandon is everything. Kenya said come through with the promotion.
Yeah, no, it looks good too.
And Ms. P said the matching hat, bro. What it is, what it ain't. And,
they out there. I got them hats. The hat game is strong.
Yeah.
Man, I like to have a hat too.
Oh yeah, Brittany said, "Who is a business owner? Why didn't Brittany get on the show? I got some of her stuff hanging up in the closet right now. 24.
Yeah, but come on in. Come on in. Brittany, what you talking about?
Yeah, no,
I'm finna send her the link.
I got a lot of 24-hour boutique stuff hanging up in my closet, and I bought stuff last year and still ain't been able to wear it. Hope I can wear it this summer because I ain't go nowhere last year because of the pandemic. So,
Brittany, we sending you a link in your messenger.
Now, how you know she won't be on TV? She probably not ready for that.
Call in. Call in.
Brittany, call in and tell us about your boutique and where we can go to find your stuff.
Oh, you can slide.
Brittany said she at dinner.
She eating dinner. She's chilling.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling y'all, last week, y'all, I was kind of like, oh, Jonathan. People were minding their own business. He bringing them on camera.
Jahan, it's the visionary and the strategist. It's okay.
It's a strategist.
It's all right.
Yeah, it equals out, Jahan. We can't have two people sitting here. How we both look like this?
Organized.
No,
we look organized.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this at 3:30.
Now, that's not what I'm going to do. You know that. Don't do me like that. Not with this. Other stuff, maybe, but not with
we can tell you, Girl Scout leader of the troop.
Whatever.
I'll give a good shout out to all the Girl Scouts in the house.
We'll try. It's every guy. You hater number 11. I'm getting my head.
Oh, she done doubled on it. She went from 9 to 11 to 24 hours. Listen, that's funny.
That's fine.
Cat Williams would be so proud of you, Jihad. He would be so proud.
I'm gonna try to get in here and get written this link so we can
I already did that.
Oh, you already posted
really?
it?
I'm cold at this. Look, when you hit invite,
I'm surprised. No, they want
then you
to
hit messenger.
No, that's not what we're talking about. They wanted the link to her boutique to
Oh
order.
yeah, my bad.
So everybody make sure you post the links. This is what I'm talking about.
Drop the link, please.
Anybody who's in here now, if you don't want to come on live and have your face seen like Jonathan suggested, just call. Yeah, you can call in or you can post your link in the comments. We want to support you any way we can.
Oh, okay.
And for everybody who doesn't have a business but want to support businesses, remember, it's never too late to support a small business, but May 2nd through the 8th is Small Business Week. So make sure you're supporting a small business that week. Okay, I had one more question because our intent is always to go an hour on this show. We're almost 2.5 hours in.
We about to say
yeah, we got anyway, so resources. What resource or advice would you guys share with someone who's wanting to start a small business but hasn't gotten to that point to actually move forward yet?
Advice. I'll start with advice first. Advice. Stay true to your dream. Regardless of what people say to you. Whatever your dream, whatever your vision is, stay true to that. As long as you stay true to that and stay consistent. When I say mean consistent, I mean in your actions, your words. You say you're going to do something, that'll be there at a certain time, be there at a certain time. Be consistent in your style of communication.
Yeah.
Because with business, communication is key. So always stay consistent and stay true to your vision.
Yeah.
And above all else, just continue to have faith in God and have faith in yourself.
Yeah.
As long as you got those two things, if ain't nobody else got your back, let's say you ain't even got a partner, he'll have your back.
Yeah.
You just got to keep the faith and just trust the vision that he planted in your head and stay consistent with your movement and your actions toward that vision, and it'll work out. It may not work out next week. It may not be on your timeline that you think it should be, but it will work out in the time that he deems right for it. Yeah. Resources, definitely get with your labor department within whatever state, city that you function out of. Also check with your county clerk's office within your county. There are a lot of free information that's sitting out there on websites. Like just tons of stuff that they give you. They actually, I know in Tennessee, they even host webinars about taxes, about the paperwork that you have to file with the state. All of that is out there at tennessee.gov/revenue. There's tons of links out there for
state,
I know. As I'm saying, just for this state. Okay. That's for the state of Tennessee.
I don't need Georgia coming to Tennessee.
But definitely just look at those things. And another resource is find groups. Like Facebook is a great thing as far as finding additional support groups for your market. So like if you do shirts, hey, there's probably plenty of shirt groups out there. If you do makeup, there's probably definitely plenty of makeup groups out there that you can kind of converse with and get firsthand knowledge from people that are doing the same things that you're doing, and kind of brainstorm off of each other and learn from other people's experiences, so you don't make some of the same mistakes.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I agree with everything he said. I think just out there, you also have to just decide that you have confidence in what you have to offer is unique, because no one can do you like you do it. So whatever your genre is, don't look and see, oh, well, it's 50 million juices shops, I'm not gonna open up a juice shop. McDonald's don't care that Burger King got 50 million stores,
Right.
and Burger King don't care that McDonald's got 60,000. They don't care. They will set up shop right across from each other and keep it moving. So you just sometimes have to have tunnel vision, and not worry about how many people are doing it, and just understand that what you have to offer is unique and is valuable. A second tangible, a tangible resource is the Entrepreneur Center. That is where My Tech Partners works out of. Entrepreneur Center is sponsored by Google. It's right downtown. It's at 41 Peabody Street, Entrepreneur Center in Nashville, Tennessee. It has a lot of workshops. I think Eddie George came last year with him and his wife and spoke about how to open up small shops. They have small workshops. They have people that they can shadow you with, and like 6 million figure people that will give you and pour into your business. They also have spotlights, and I think they also have like competitions where you pitch your business for grants and things like that. So the Entrepreneur Center is a dope spot to get into. I think it costs like $100 a month to rent a space. That's like space to work out of, have meetings, things like that. And then the workshops, I think, are free for small businesses. So it's a lot of good resources at the Entrepreneur Center for small business owners in Nashville, Tennessee, that I think you could really benefit from.
Okay, that's good. And I'm gonna try. I wrote some of this stuff down, and I will post them in our comment section later, so people, when they go back and watch it, they can go to those websites as well. So thank you guys for that. Did you see Brittany's comment? Did you want to read that or?
About taxes?
Mm-hmm.
Quick.
Brittany says taxes, LLC for protection for you and your brand all day, every day. That includes social media posts, and when people see you out in person, don't do what you see working for others. Your individual vision will bring you success.
Got him.
And Jahan, that brings up a point: insurance.
Mhm.
If you're a business, please get insurance.
Mhm.
I don't care what your business is.
Yeah,
If you make crafts, guess what? There is insurance for crafts.
yeah.
And it's not that expensive.
Mhm.
So definitely make sure you are insured. Just to make sure you are covered from a liability standpoint. That is definitely where your LLCs come into play. But not only from that protection, but definitely make sure you have insurance.
Yeah, that is important. And that's all right on here. One of the guys who has a moving company, he said he's bonded and insured. Because I know for me, when we've had movers, they come in here and treat our stuff like we didn't pay for it.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to take care of this for me, player. So yeah, no. So yeah, I think that is the end of my questions. Can you guys let us know where we can find you on social media, your websites, and all that fun stuff?
I'm gonna let Crill's cameo go.
I am at Shop Corel. I am also at Cuticle 615. You are at
J
There
Squared.
you go.
I'm at J Squared Designs TN. And on Instagram, I am J2 Designs TN.
Okay. I should have had those already up. I'm gonna post them so people can see them and make sure they follow you guys.
Jahan, this is the part of what I be telling you is what we got to do to stay together. Like, this is, I can't even make it sound.
I know you lying.
I can't even make it sound believable.
Because you can't even get it right because you lying so fast.
I'm trying to catch you while you was down. Ain't that something? Look at me trying to catch you while you down.
Elevator pitched it. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's so funny. Okay.
Oh man.
You can find the articles that I've written at Her Voice Consulting Agency .net, and also Her Voice Consulting Agency on Facebook. And then on IG, it's Barbie Evans, and I think I have Her Voice in the title also. So the articles, what I'll do after the phone call, I'll drop it on the comments and put my website link in the comments and my IG page. And if you're interested in have an article written about you, hit me up. Or if you know anybody that you feel like should be spotlighted for whatever they're doing or their niche, their purpose, passion, or profession, please let me know, and I'll be happy to read about them. Also, I have an article coming out tomorrow on 80/20 Fitness, the husband and wife that started a fitness business together, and there's some really inspirational things in their article. So I'll be publishing that tomorrow on IG and Facebook.
Okay. So, Barry, let me ask you this. So, people who, when they have articles about them, you kind of like, where these people come from, like where this come from? Is that what they do? They go out and pay people to write articles about them and you put it
No,
out?
actually, my focus now is building my portfolio. And so I will I've had some people that come to me and ask me to write articles on them, but most of the time it's people that I find interesting, and I'll just be like, hey, can I, do you mind doing an interview for me? Now, the money that I'm making from my business doesn't necessarily come with the article. What it does come from is creating like a marketing pitch for them afterwards or before I post the article. And so that's how the revenue comes in. Right now, I'm just building my portfolio because I can't say I can write and not have something to show for it. So people got to understand, and I got to have receipts, I could be like, I've been a poet since I was 8 years old, but they don't know that. So they got to be able to see something tangible. So me building up my my portfolio is what I'm doing now. So I'm really, really grateful for the people that have allowed me to do it. Like the CEO, Alfonso Harvey, he was the first person that let me write an article on him to build up my brand. And so that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay. Cool. So you guys want to tell us what you got coming up, or some people can be on the lookout for?
Let's see. Right now I'm vending every Friday at a food truck. I think it's food truck in the borough. So it is food trucks, vendors, and it's more of a community atmosphere. People come, they eat, they grab their food, and they have picnics. It is fabulous. So if y'all are in the Middle Tennessee area, y'all can come on down. I also vend once a month on Saturdays at Black Murfreesboro. We get together, all vendors are of African American descent or African American, and we take over an entire village. There is food, there's all kinds of food, Jamaican, you name it, we got it. American, everything. There's all kinds of vendors. There's all kinds of everything. There is music. It is wonderful. It is invited for everyone to come, but all the vendors are us, and we are promoting our businesses to everyone. So also do that once a month as well.
So just piggyback on that. If you're from the Nashville area, think African Street Festival, but think of it in Murfreesboro once a month on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what your Black Murfreesboro market experience is very much like. For me personally, I'm trying to get out to a Black Murfreesboro market. Fortunately, I have been busy doing so many orders. I haven't had any time to make something to go vend, which is a great thing. But the biggest thing that I want people to be on the lookout for is I am expanding the J Square brand. Henceforth, the shirt tonight. I got hats coming. So literally, I've just been been in the lab, pretty much making everything that's been coming to my head, digitizing it. Because that is also a service that I also offer, is the digitizing of people images from an embroidery perspective. So a lot of times there are people who I'm like, you don't even have to use me to do your embroidery. I'll digitize your image just so you can go get it embroidered somewhere else if you want to. You may have somebody you want to support. So that's cool. But definitely on the lookout for just the J Square collection to be expanded and coming out to the website near you.
Okay. We're going to be looking out for that. I think I want that shirt. Like, that's nice. I like
and
that.
we can change the color up too. Some people be like, I wanted a purple.
That metallic purple, that's going to be real nice.
Fat Mac, drop a hand clap for all of them.
We thank y'all so much. Looking through the comments, I want to make sure I don't, leave anybody out, and we all get in there, get their questions answered by our panel. I feel like this has been really informative. I hope people got a lot out of it. I know I did. Thank you guys, all of you, for being on our little shows. Week 4 for us, our 4th episode. We're still working out the kinks, but we're gonna get it together.
Speak for yourself.
Y'all did good. This is excellent. This is excellent.
We appreciate the invite.
Y'all coming.
And definitely had a blast.
And we shall not refer to it as little anymore.
It is
not little at all. It is great. It is full of personality. It fits you guys, and so I'm very first of all, I think I was like the 0.12 person when you first posted. I was like, yes, finally. Watching y'all go back and forth with these great lives and these conversations that y'all have, and let's talk about the debate, and let's do this or this and this. So this is just like right on point. So I'm very, very proud of both of you. So I think it's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're gonna see what they do in turn to. We can get all our employees reading their email.
That's what makes it special. By the way, since we on our announcement,
here we go.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and bring back some of that touch me to you.
Yeah.
Freaky Fridays, because I kind of miss it now. I ain't gonna lie.
Y'all, this is what we're talking about.
I ain't gonna lie.
So, Jonathan retired from DJing, and when I could take this camera and show y'all where his equipment is right now, but somehow he's booked, and I'm trying to understand how this happens. Again, calendars are important. I wrote that down. Get Jonathan
calendars are important,
and share it with me, because I thought we were done, but somehow we're booked. We're gonna be traveling DJing, and I just didn't know.
Magically booking without That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, Jonathan, once the calendar comes into effect, understand if it ain't on the calendar, it ain't real.
Not real. So I'm kind of
bad as I want it.
I thought you were gonna meet this. What player ain't on the calendar?
It ain't on your calendar. All right, I got used to saying, let me check the calendar. Instead of saying yes, Jonathan, can you do this? Yes. No, I need to say, let me check the calendar.
That's right.
You can't double book now, player, because you in Georgia. And so it ain't no double booking. So but yeah. No, I hope everyone got something out of this. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna do a better job of making sure that I tag all of you guys again to your information to the thread and to the comment. What you call it? The heading.
Yeah,
the live. Yeah, so people can find you guys after this broadcast, because people do watch it after the fact. So we blessed there too. So thank y'all.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. So again, this is the Jonathan Jahan Show. Anything ignorant you heard, please, disclaimer, do not come commenting to none of my sorority. Don't tag the sorority. Don't tag the jobs. Don't tag nobody. This is me and Jonathan. Our opinions are alone. They do not represent the opinions of any organization or our employers.
That's right. Technically, if we want to even this out, we got like 2 minutes and a half. If we want to, it's hard for me to say goodbye. Now get the song. Who had the song? It's hard for me to say goodbye. It's hard for me to say goodbye.
No.
When I know it, look at it. As many people it is watching. What y'all want? What it is, what it ain't.
It's many, Jonathan. What are you talking about? It's 9 people.
Touch 9 people. That's a lot of people.
You touch 9 people. Yeah, no, I hear you. You're right. My bad. I didn't.
We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes where it resides.
Where it resides?
I was trying to fit it in.
Oh yeah. We're broadcasting live from my bedroom, you guys. So if you're ever watching our broadcast and you see something in the background, don't blow it up and screenshot and share it on social media. That's rude. It's disrespectful. and will not be appreciated.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
People that be putting them selfies with the dirty background.
That's the topic I want to talk about. I want people to stop doing that. Let's let that end. Let's normalize
With the
cleaning.
no bed.
Let's normalize cleaning your house before you go on social media and post.
The bed.
Or find a clean spot.
Find a clean spot. Just move
Find a clean spot.
you know, come on. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. How many minutes we got now, John?
One. I'm trying to eat it. It's up the logarithm than Facebook.
The logarithm.
Yeah, they don't like. Hey, it's got to be 2:45. Oh, we got 11 people in here. We got to go at least another hour.
Because they know you in here acting the food now. They want to talk about you acting food.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know y'all. People got to do stuff. It's Sunday night.
It's Sunday night. It's 11 o'clock.
Hey, just in case y'all didn't know, your boy Fat Mac coming back on them hot touch me this. So I got to get my tips. It's been so long since I've said it. We're going to give you some music appreciation. We're going to help somebody close the deal.
Sorry. Y'all got me down looking at Jahan's face. I am crying.
I'm looking at it.
Jahan, it's trying to help somebody close the deal. Some people ain't closed the deal in a long time and they walking around upset.
So this is what I talk about when we talk about being
Rose,
an employee of your partner's entrepreneurial venture. So his lives can't just be an hour. I'm like, John, you can do an hour, maybe 2 hours a night. I can roll with
time
you 2
gets
times
away
a week.
from me, dude.
Jonathan goes 4 hours. They take him off and he comes back on.
No,
and it'd be like 2 minutes, 45 seconds. They'd be like, where First Lady at? Oh, she got her house shoes on. She
Hey, Jahan be laying in bed, falling out, supporting
and then
his
you
wife.
hear in the back,
That's
I'm
what I'm
going to
talking
bed, John.
You be about to fall flame out.
Live like this.
You not finna Derek Jackson her and put her on no live with no bonnet on. It's just
Come on.
what it is. She's just gonna go to bed.
Because he'll do it.
Now that's one we got to talk about, Jahan.
The Derek Jackson situation.
Thank you. He was sure making us look bad.
Yeah.
He was sure making it.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna play devil's advocate just for a second, and it may not be popular. I know we gotta go, but I'm gonna just say this: if enough women were not buying into his persona and how he looked, instead of checking where he was going as a married man and them tight Superman shirts he was wearing and them freaking car confessions with no kid, no wife in sight. If enough women were not looking at him as this save-a-hole type, he would not have built his empire on women's loneliness and their sexual prowess towards him. That was their fault. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think the whole situation was staged. If you just really want to, did you guys see her Instagram page when it was?
Yes.
I was looking at old girl like, who your God again? Because this right here looks a little thirsty.
If she had a marketing manager, she would have been a billionaire by now, because she would have took what he did and completely flipped it and went on her own thing. But what Derek Jackson is going to do, what he does best, he's going to come back out in 6 months to 7 months with a book that says what I already being publicly outed on my, and it's going to hit. Because people won't mess and they want to know what he thinks and they're going to pay him for it.
Well, his thing, I thought it was true. Because when he did his little infomercial holding his wife's hand, his book dropped that week. How we got over infidelity in our relationships or whatever he called it. Yeah. Yep. It's like this came out. Supposedly they had gotten over it. By the time we found out about it, they had already gotten over it. But the book dropped that week.
So he took an L.
Yeah,
so
he's a market. I mean, you got to call these people what they are. They take advantage of the time. They are marketing madmen. Like they look at what's going on and what people want to hear, and they feed into that. And I'm sorry, like it was a bunch of women that were. First of all, you're not going to do this whole tour and your base is women, and I'm not around you. Like that's number one. So that was her L to begin with, like just off top. So
kids and no kids, we on tour.
Oh yes, most definitely. So you gonna go around telling these women who are already disgruntled about their relationship that you are the answer and I'm nowhere in sight? Okay,
No. Yeah, we would definitely be Erica Campbell and Warren Campbell up in this mug. Like, will you go out and play?
Hey, I would have been like Ruth, where you go, I go. Your God will be my God. Where you lie down.
Come on now, hallelujah, blah blah blah. Come on now.
Hallelujah.
Don't do that. No, player. Yeah, but next week, Cole, while we're talking about this, our next week's topic is Black love. What is it? And we're gonna be talking about different relationship stuff.
We have couples?
Yeah, we have couples. We have Beverly Gibson and Al Gibson. Beverly Gibson, both of them are mentors and life coaches. We have my brother and sister-in-law going to be on talking about the blended.
Make sure y'all talk about struggle love.
Come on now. Y'all might want to come on and talk about struggle love with us then next week. Jesus.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh. Well, people, I know I was outside my let's end it, but you just put this on my spirit. When Jonathan got sick about a month and a half after before our wedding. And he had to stop working. And we had to build from that. Let me just put it that way. So struggle love, we could probably, get Jones to print a t-shirt on that because we got that right there. Mm-hmm. And so many people were telling us, oh, why you want to be with somebody in struggle? Why you want to be with somebody in boom, 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 boom? Mm-hmm. See, these weddings people want to have is nothing compared to the real marriage. Man, I don't think your marriage starts until after the wedding.
After.
Jahan, look. Now, Jahan, we get on this subject, we ain't finna get off. I'm trying to tell you, because that is something that hits so close to home when folks see you today.
Yeah.
And you try to explain to folk, like, hey, bruh, 20 years in the game in this right now. What are you talking about? Yeah. Like, this wasn't an overnight thing. Mm-hmm. You don't know the story. You don't know the struggle. You don't know what it took to get to this point. Mm-hmm. So don't take the current, episode of what you see as the end all be all, because it's growth that got here.
I wanna,
and I'm not saying, he cheated on her 52 times, struggle love. Mm-hmm. That ain't what I'm talking about. Right. I'm talking about to death do you part, sickness and health, all the things, struggle love, like actually going through there. Because and I think we don't realize that there's a difference, right? He done cheated on you 52 times and you talking about, well, I'm a ride or die with him. That's not struggle love. That's stupid love.
Yes, honey.
Mm-hmm. That's somebody
it is what it is.
Struggle. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's somebody. Yeah. And I want to send y'all this. When we get off, I'm probably gonna inbox y'all this lady's name. I met her when I was living in California. Just real quick. Her husband was going to school to be an engineer. She is a scientist, so smart. Was making $80,000 a year just by being a chemist, a scientist, or whatever. Her husband got sick, I think, like 2 years after they were married. He has been bedridden for probably 10 years out of their 12-year marriage. And I could be wrong about the number, but I'm going to tell y'all, she fought the state of California for custody of her husband. And I remember saying, when I met her name is Lynn Carrington. She lived in California. When I met her, I remember saying, I met her when I was probably before I had my kids. So that was probably like 15 years ago. So when I met her, I remember thinking to myself, if my marriage is not like that, I don't want it. If I can't fight it for you that way, then you don't want me to be with you. Because I got to be able to go over the mountain and fall twice to be able to be with you. And he has like, when you like the love and support and honor she has for this man, like when she has parties, she'll shave his head, his face, she'll clean him up, and she'll say, y'all come speak to my husband. And he can't talk, he can't walk, but when he looks at that woman, you could tell he will move heaven and earth for her, because what she has done for him is beyond how much money they could have made. Like a nurse in California can make over $100,000 a year. She went to San Jose State and became a nurse and has never practiced nursing a day in her life. The only reason why she did that was that she could fight the state of California for custody to prove that she can care for him. So to me, I've been single for so long, and I'm like, listen, if I can't look at you and need to want to go there with you, then I don't want it. So that's a dope topic, and I'll be tuning in to listen to it for sure.
You know, we have a lot of experience on the call, and we have people who, you know, coming from different walks of life, you know, coming together as a couple. So, and Black love isn't always marriage, and so we're gonna kind of talk about that. You know, because in this day and age, things are so fluid, and people, you know, everyone has a different opinion on what it means to be a life partner. So we kind of want to talk about and have it from different dynamics, different perspectives next week. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yep.
All right.
Now you look at your starting topics and then you don't get sleepy.
Oh, I'm not sleeping. I just
beautiful over here leaning on my chair. Get on your chair.
hold on. First of all, our getting back togetherness is because of a gangster lean. Okay. So Jahan calls me, you know, I'm gonna help my brother with his 30-year-old birthday party. So we stunting, acting like we looking for a place for your brother, but we really just wanted a reason to get together and meet up.
You wanted a reason to get together. I was going for a venue.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. But let me tell you what happened though. What happened? You sat right beside me. We kind of close now, and then you, I think you went to the powder girls' room, which I call it, the powder room, and you came back, and I had that arm up on that chair like this. And when you came and sat down, and then you set it up like right beside me, and we was in the club out in public, and you was like real close. That's when I said,
you got two different scenarios in that story. One, yes. We did want to, before we got to the line, Jonathan was sitting there, had to go to the bathroom, but wouldn't go because he want nobody to talk to me while he's in the bathroom. He said, I can't go to the bathroom, but I'm afraid if I get up, somebody will come talk to me. I'm like, we ain't together. Then he comes back, and he's sitting there going to pull the whole.
Oh, that's right. I sure did. I had to rub my hands like baby first.
Like, baby. Over here
I sure did. I went like that. You really don't need.
I think Jonathan like, let me go ahead and lean on in.
Yeah, and that lean in and let you know.
And I ain't been able to shake that man since. So yeah,
longest lean you ever had.
She's still leaning.
Next week we're talking to our couple. I hope we ain't prying in too much personal because I'm not ashamed, but maybe we could tell like one story of embarrassment, like when you like it was right. Hold on, let me rephrase what I'm saying. Like an argument that ended up not really being a reason to have an argument. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like when my stuff got put out for no reason.
No, player. Whenever your stuff got picked up.
No, it was. Because you thought I was out. Nah. You thought I was out. Whoa.
No, you know, you tell that story wrong. I didn't pack your stuff up because of you being out. I packed your stuff up because you left your phone at my house.
Okay, we're gonna never mind that story. No, the one when I fell asleep over little buddy house. And you thought
that story. Hey, John. It's 2:57, bro. You don't even want to go down that road.
These last 3 minutes hurt me. Yeah. Hey, you want to give a shout out each and everybody for coming and listening to us tonight.
Yeah, you should have ended this 10 minutes ago because now you're going to start an argument when the camera goes off.
We talking
Code 10.
Hey, help me. All right, go ahead, John. Let's go ahead and leave this thing on now.
Yeah, go ahead, Willis. Thank y'all so much. We see y'all next week.
All right, y'all. Have a good
night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. You gonna end it, John? You gonna hit the button?